from all of you that you will stick around for the next 3 hours with us, and by the end of this, you will grasp all of the concepts that you will need to be able to build automations yourself. Is that a 100% commitment from everyone? Drop in 100% on the chat.
I hope you'll not spam or like people will not disturb other people. But in case if you have to, let's say, respond to me if I'm fast or if you're not able to grab something, just put on chat and then I'll be able to answer you that. Second part, I created a form over here where you can drop all your questions, be it about any theoretical aspect, about any application of automation, as well as any practical doubts or maybe any technical questions you have. So I'm just going to share this form link with all of you. Just grab it, keep it with you whenever you have any questions. Instead of putting on chat, because that may disappear, it may just go on a like complete different way, right? So just put your questions here, and I'll try best to answer them during the session or even at the end of the session as well. So I'm just giving you form link over here. Just keep it with you. Okay, so are we good? Are we ready to start? Everyone, quickly, I love interaction, guys. So please be interactive. And that shows like, okay, we are in sync. You are with me on the session. Perfect. Okay, great. So, first of all, let me give you some actual idea of automation, how automations look like, what they can do. And I'm going to show you a practical problem that I was facing earlier. And then I thought, like, why not to build an automation? The things I'm doing clerical, why a AI or a machine can handle that. And that literally saved me about 10 to 15 hours a month just by not posting, not creating social media content. So the problem was I have like three different presence across Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for my personal brand as well as for the company page altogether. Now, what happened is I had to create so much content as we all do. Like, you would also want to have your social media presence as a business person, as a professional. You want to share knowledge. You want to like keep engagement on, increase followers, right? That's the need of any emerging business, any active professional person. So the same thing I had so many ideas in mind, but when it comes to the execution part, that becomes a tedious thing because we'll have to generate some sort of a media first of all, let's say what we wanted to share. Second, we have to write that entire content, and finally we'll have to schedule those content or like put those content out on all of these platforms, right? And that is super time consuming thing. So what I did actually is I created a Google sheet like this where I just have to put all my thought, all my ideas, like around wherever I want to create a post. Simply go here in column A, put your things, and then here I have a control which says generate post content. Once the content is ready, is going to tell me that your post content is ready for review. Once I review it, I'll simply say system, post the content, and when I do this, system is going to do the posting on all the social media as well. So, would you like to see a quick demonstration of this before we jump into the fundamentals part? Quickly, guys, be responsive. Okay, very few people. Great, 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 great. So here is one of the example text. One idea came to my mind. Let's say I'm launching a new chocolate brand called Outskill in Mumbai and create a Mumbai theme launch poster plus obviously a post. Now, just behind this entire scene, there is an automation scenario created like this, right? Which is going to grab content from my Google Sheet. We'll put that into ChatGPT to generate a really beautiful piece of content for all three platforms in a complete different way, in a complete separate voice. And it'll also generate an image, and both the things will be stored back into Google Sheet for my review. So let's see some magic over here. Now, just for the testing purpose, I'll click run this thing once. It got data from my Google Sheet. Now it went to GPT, and see here, we are not using the GPT which we generally use on our desktops or our browsers, right? It's a complete backend of GPT altogether. Now it is generating image, and once both the things are done, it's going to get these things into Google Sheet back for the review. Images are like a little tedious to generate. It may take them maybe like 10-15 seconds to generate the whole thing. So let's see. Okay, this is done. Perfect. Now if we go back into our content tracker, see here the magic. So we got this whole post for Facebook which says exciting news, chocolate lovers in Mumbai and this whole post along with even hashtags like this, as well as couple of emojis for Facebook thing. LinkedIn is quite professional platform. So over here you can see the full professional formal tone post came out like this. And then over here we have Instagram, which is like more interactive, more engaging. So multiple emojis, multiple things as per our instruction to GPT. And even one image created over here. Let's see what kind of job this GPT did. Not very good, not very bad, but yeah, see here. So kind of a good poster over here with chocolate theme, with our skill launch, Mumbai chocolates and so on. This could have been better, or we can even use our own image. So let's say if you get something designed with your graphic designer or someone, that can also be used. So see, this is how easy it is to generate content, generate media. And now if I say this, just go ahead and post this content. Simply the automation will run again, and this time is going to post the same thing on my LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. See, the LinkedIn post has already happened. Over here you can see the post ID generated. Facebook is done. Even the Instagram is going to go now. Perfect. Everything is done, and this status got changed to posting done. Do you want to see how that post look like on all the social media platforms? People will say, okay, we don't know, right? We just saw the post ID. Where's the post? Okay, let's go here. So this is the Facebook page for growth stacks. Let's have a look. See, just now the post came out over here. I did not do anything. I never even went into the Facebook as well. The image along with hashtags, along with the content. Plus, let's go on Instagram, refresh the page. Let's see some magic. Perfect. The post came here as well, along with the whole content. And let's go to LinkedIn as well. Let's refresh everything. If you go to this profile, let's see some magic. Perfect. See here, now this post also came out. If I click on, like, see the entire thing, just 1 minute ago the post came out like this. See, so this is the power of automation. And just for the demonstration purpose, I run it once. I do this like full manual thing. Otherwise we can even schedule it. So we can say like, okay, every day 10 a.m. morning, just run this post. Or even there are many more ways to do the same thing without even touching the whole system. So are you excited to jump into like more depth of the whole automation thing? Quickly guys, and please be interactive. As I said, you can generally we take this session on weekends. So we say people like, okay, have your working lunch, right? While you are like going through this entire class, you can have your lunch. You can just do both things together. Today I'll say have your working dinner as well. So wherever you sit, if you're hungry, if you are tired, something, just still be in the session. You can do other things, whatever you wanted to. Perfect. So with that being said, let's get into the fundamental part now. As we always ask you all, obviously this is going to be a technical session. So please keep undivided attention over here for next 3 hours. You can even take screenshots wherever required. In case you have questions, please feel free to ask on the chat box or on the form. And obviously grab a pen paper. Since it is a technical thing, you may want to note down a couple of important keywords, maybe key terms, as well as some sort of logics. So please be ready with that. And believe me, these 3 hours of investment can give you at least 100x return. If you learn automation in the right way, you can save anyways 300 hours a year. That is nothing big. 1 hour a day is nothing big. So please keep your attention over here. Now, what we're going to cover in this whole session. First of all, we'll see what is automation. We actually saw the demonstration of automation, but still in the theoretical term, what is automation? Why we do automation? Now, there are 2 ways to do automation. Like until before this class, most of the people or many of the laymen like who are not technical as such, think like automation is only for the developers, only for the coders, only people who know Python, JavaScript, those kind of coding languages. They can just play around with the systems. But these days, there are really good no-code, low-code tool game which transformed everything, the entire world of automation, I would say. So we'll see what is coding-based automation, how no-code look like. Then difference between code and no-code. I'll show you both the examples. Then we are going to look about certain popular automation platforms. So what are tools available, how to choose them, and then we'll get into something called make.com, which is one of the really good emerging tool. We'll walk through all the features and then we'll do a practical uh, overview, a practical hands-on experience with Make as well. Okay, so with that being said, who am I? Funny already introduced me. So my name is Manish. I am founder of GrowStacks. Already served or worked with more than 2,000 businesses across US, UK, and Australia region. So those kind of countries which are actually quite advanced in terms of AI implementation, in terms of automation implementation, because they have like well-structured businesses and early adaptation of most of the things. I personally built more than 10,000 automation workflows. The one which I shown you, similar to that, many different workflows. I have command on almost 500 plus business apps, and we are a Make.com Gold partner. We are a Zapier certified experts, and so on. So yeah, that's a quick brief about myself. Now, as a working professional, as a business person, we all do many different jobs, many different responsibilities, duties every day that come along our way. That is part of our job description, part of our, uh, let's say, deliverables, right? Now, for example, let's say if you're into marketing department or if you manage marketing for your own business, for someone else's business, there is a set process, certain tasks you have to perform day in, day out. So let's say marketing starts with some sort of ideation, like what you wanted to pitch, how you want to pitch, what is your product. Then it goes on the content creation part. You publish those content, you generate leads, some sort of responses, conversions. Finally, you do reporting analysis, and the whole flow go back again with your improved analysis. You improve the ideation. If you are into finance, if you are into accounting or any sort of, let's say, uh, desk job, you may generally end up creating invoices. You do accounting part, you do book payments, and finally you also do stock updates. So similar way, like different people have different processes to follow and a wide range of tasks to be done every day in as part of their uh, fulfillment deliverables. What happened actually at the start? We feel energetic because something is new. We learn new duties, new things. We enhance our capabilities. But after a certain point of time, when you wanted to enhance or maybe level up yourself, upgrade yourself to the next level, get a promotion or something, at that time you are generally being asked like you should outperform, right? You should deliver more. And that's where you take more and more things in your plate. But as a human, we all have limited time, limited energy, limited attention span as well, right? And what happens is you end up with a unlimited task list. The volume is keep on increasing. We never come up with that. And finally, we ultimately lose the vision, what we were heading to, towards a promotion, towards the upgrade, towards scaling to the next level. But our task list become unbeatable, I would say. Like there are always items around. What are the reasons? First of all, when we expand our thing, when we scale our things, when we wanted to upgrade ourselves, do more, things become repetitive. Even if you're part of a process, a cycle, you do certain number of tasks, how we saw marketing or finance person and all. So there are repetition started happening. The unique things become less, it is more and more repetitive. After a certain point of time, for humans, things become, the repeated things become no brainer or even low brainer. So what do you mean by that? Let's say if there's a cashier in a bank, right? He has to count notes. On day one, obviously he'll be excited, good. But after a certain point of time, he'll say, okay, I'll keep on counting notes with the same value. Why can't I have a machine which can do this thing for me? It's a very low value addition, right? Then the last part is that particular physical activity, that particular involvement, what you do, still take the same amount of time and effort, right? And that's what is being frustrating to all of us, that we are not there to like do same thing again and again without having any fruitful benefits. So what if you could have a robot, a human replacement? You know, like Tesla is creating robots, Boston Dynamics is creating robots, but those are like mechanical robots, can do many things for you which you do by hands. But what about the brain part? AIs are there, but not that super fast, right? And obviously, they are super expensive as well. So you can have a robot, but be ready for $1 million kind of investment to get that robot out for you. So, what the best solution is? Why not to automate our intellectual task? Why not to automate our interaction with different systems, different softwares, where we can get free and AI or automation can take care of repetitive things for you. Now, how automation can help you? So obviously, It can increase productivity, efficiency for you. It can save a lot time, a lot effort, as well as it can help you to scale your business or profession with less or even same number of resources. Just be focused here. This is very, very important. As I said earlier, if you wanted to scale yourself, you want to go to next level, be in your business or in your profession. See, we have limited time, attention, as well as at times even we have a limited team sitting around us. So if you're a business person, you may have five headcounts who are doing certain number of things. But if you wanted to scale your business, you may need 10 people, but you can't afford 10 people, right? Or be in a profession, be in a actual company job. You may have a small team, but you wanted to do more and more things. That's where AI and automation can help you to have many repeated tasks which these five people are doing to be automated, done by AI agents, done by automation workflows, and these five people can do like the actual humans job, actual intellectual jobs, what they are supposed to. Then obviously automation can help you to increase your availability 24 by 7, 365 days because machines never sleep. And finally, it makes your process more robust, less human interaction. That means less error as well. So how does it feel like once we complete everything? Obviously, it should be an like exciting thing. Out of frustration, we are moving towards a good, uh, I would say, wealthy and healthy future. Right now, in terms of automation, if we go just about the theoretical approach, what is automation? It's putting technology on a process and then we can reduce the manual effort. Now, automation can be of various types, right? It is not just about what automation I'm going to talk today. There are many automation already exist. I told you, right? If there is a cashier in bank who uses a note counting machine, that is also an automation. He automated his task. He no longer have to count notes by hand. It's all done by a machine, right? So that's a physical task automation. So there are three type of automation exist in this world, I would say, or I classified personally, right, from my thought process. Number one is something called RPA, robotic process automation. This you would have seen many time on different videos, different news channels. Like there are assembly lines or there are manufacturing plants, packaging plants, and there is a whole lot of assembly line or multiple arms of robots or mechanical arms which put things together and then you see the final outcome comes out, right? So RPA is one of that, but again it has very limited use inside the let's say vehicle assembly plant, manufacturing plant, or the packaging plants. The second type of automation that we see is primarily done inside BPOs or KPOs or any sort of jobs where there is a heavy use of computer different systems and people operate them manually. So for example, if you do data entry, if there are people who do data scraping, copy paste kind of jobs, or even people do form filing, and that too happen at a very large scale. So if you are if you see, those are very human intensive industries and many people are deployed there. That's where also automation started coming in. And these days there are something called like selenium based scripts or UI path kind of softwares which help you to automate your interaction with the system. So whatever I do on this whole screen can be done by a system as well, a computer as well, right? Then there is third part comes in, which is called software based task automation. Now, we all engage, interact with many softwares every day, right? And those are like even we are connected on software while taking this call. It's a Zoom software, right? We write emails on using Gmail. WhatsApp is there, CRMs are there, invoice accounting systems are there. So these days, everything is working on software. And how does it make difference? So if we can automate to handle our software based task, then it is going to be a complete game changer because 99% of people who are like out of this first thing, robotic process or this computer physical task, they all work with software these days, right? And this is the widest use case of automation, or it is becoming widest use case of automation. So as soon as the AI comes in, automation comes in, that is going to make the, I would say, intellectual people's life easy, right? So this is our today's agenda as well. We are going to learn how to automate our software-based tasks, how to engage AI, how to engage automation workflows to handle everything what we do on softwares. Now, just to give you a little more understanding about the processes and the systems, how they work in the practical world, and like what we are going to do, how we are going to improve them. So, first of all, you can see here there are third world practices or backward practices where we were doing it almost 20 years back. Like, this is how I see things. So, there were third world practices, third world systems where everything was happening manually. So, even if you have to write a letter to someone, you'll actually put a pen paper, write something, and send across. If you have to raise an invoice, it has to be like on a khata book. If you have to create a article, a newspaper advertisement or something, everything was happening on pen and paper itself. Then we moved to an era where everything is happening with softwares. And that's what I just told you a few minutes back. So now we do each and everything with softwares, be it invoicing, be it emails, be it any sort of communication, marketing, interaction, everything is happening through softwares. There is no pen and paper exist at this point. And there will be another world which is called first world where we are heading to. Before that, I would like to ask all of you, can you quickly tell me one similarity between these two worlds, the third world practices and the second world practices? Just to quickly test your attention, are you here or not? Typing, very good. He's not typing. On third world, there was no typewriter, right? Human is there. Still a manual intervention. Human. Coding. Who's doing this mischief? Yeah, there's no coding actually. Okay. Human interaction, absolutely. You, most of you people know, right? So on the both side, the method of working got changed. Earlier we were doing it with pen paper. Now we are doing it with systems. But still, a human is there to operate them, be it a pen paper or be it a keyboard mouse. But now we are heading to a world where AI and automation is going to take care of our software operations. So we are heading to a world which is called automated world, right? Where tools like ChatGPT, agentic AI, or even a workflow builder like Make.com, Zapier, these tools are going to take care of our entire software suite. We just have to command them, we just have to configure them once, and most of these intellectual tasks which we were operating with systems, which actually takes our amount of energy, time, effort, is going to be automated, handled, or taken care by the automation workflows. But you may have a big question. We saw this guy sitting around and he's operating a system. Even I'm operating this system with keyboard and mouse, right? We operate systems, we operate softwares using some sort of a interactive panel, some sort of a interactive tools, right? But how a software can work with other software, how a software can control other software, right? If that is possible, then only automation can be possible. Otherwise, obviously, humans has to again juggle up with them. So the answer is there are two ways to interact with any system or most of the softwares. One is called the user interface, which is built for humans, people like us who engage with the systems, right? So UI is primarily for users, humans to interact. It's anyways is user interface. So who's the user? We are the users. And then there is another part which is called API. You would have already heard in yesterday's session or today's session. There is like we are connecting APIs. We give me the API key or configure this API key here and there. So APIs are application programming interface where humans are not needed, users are not needed, and with the help of API, two softwares can talk together, or one software can control the operations of other software. It can ask, it can command, it can get things done with the other system. Now let me give you a quick example of UI first. See, you would have all heard like a very common term in business, in the industry, or maybe in a general discussion. There's something called UI, UX, user interface, user experience, right? These two terms. Graphic designers use it most of the time, or developers use it most of the time, right? So this is the UI which we are talking about. First of all, see here. Let's say, I hope you all recognize what is that. It's a Gmail interface. So whenever you have to write an email to someone, Gmail got you a button over here, something called Compose. So click on this Compose. It's going to have a, let's say, address bar to whom you want to send email to, then subject line, then there is a body, there are attachment, and you simply hit send, the email will go. If you wanted to do more actions, like you want to classify emails, you wanted to tag something, delete something, all actions are given over here. If you wanted to reply someone, again, things are here. Add emoji, reply, put text or something else. So this is how we interact as a user with the system. But when it comes to API, it is slightly different. So let's try to understand the same thing using an example, some sort of illustration. Let's say if you're hungry, you want to eat something, you go to a restaurant.
Delete my
right?
account ne
And
bataya.
then you call a waiter, hey guy, please take my order. So you give all the orders to the waiter. Waiter validate that okay, this is a valid order or not, or is it actually like it's part of our menu or not, right? Then waiter confirm that order is going to give that order to the chef who's sitting behind the scene, like behind the curtain on the kitchen side. Then chef prepare the dish, give it back to waiter, and then waiter is going to deliver that dish to your table. Right? Now, the same thing happens when we work with APIs, when we work with any application. So as a user, as an end customer, you sit on a browser, you sit on an application interface, you do certain command. As I said, like let's say you're going to send a command, send email, or write an email, or get me an email data, something like that. Request is actually handed over by the browser to a middle layer called API, right? And then this API actually interact with the backend server of Gmail, or maybe a Google Sheet, or maybe LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the system you're using. So as a user, you see only the browser, but there is a backend layer which interact with the actual application for you, right? It validates everything. It says, okay, the request you are sending is actually a valid request. Let's say, for example, if you write someone's email, manish@gmail.com, but you say only manish@.com, right? You're missing Gmail, you're missing Yahoo. In that case, API itself will validate your request, will say, okay, this is not a correct email address. Give me the correct order, right? So there are a couple of validation put even within the browser itself, and then API validate and do your request fulfillment. So what if we can hijack or we can work with this API layer itself? If that is possible, then we can, without sitting on a system, ask any other system, any other AI, simply hijack, simply work with this API, and this API can get all the things done with the backend server, right? So that's the whole crux, like how we are going to automate things. So essentially, we will actually work with the API layer of the system, and this API layer will get things done for us, right? Now, do you want to see a quick demonstration of how APIs look like? Whatever I told you so far, for example, let's say this waiter thing, this chef thing. You guys are excited? You want to see this? Perfect. Okay, let me get into Gmail itself, then I'll just show you. So, for example, this is my Gmail. Uh-oh, not here. Let's get in. For example, this is my Gmail over here. This is for admin bro stacks. Now you all have this browser on your different desktop or wherever you are, like looking at this. There will be a key on your keyboard called F12, function 12, right? If you press that, you will see a window like this. And within this, there is something called a tab called network, right? As soon as I even open this, you can see there are so many requests, so many exchange happening behind the scene. Even I did not touch this whole interface. For example, if I just click over here on this particular email or maybe request for required document, see the magic. As soon as I click, I just removed everything. There is a long different list of APIs being called here. See, many APIs are being called just to get that particular email data and showcase me this whole email. So it says, hi Neeraj, dear Neeraj, you're hoping well, and so things. Now, Gmail, this interface is actually working with all of these APIs and interacting with the backend system of Gmail. So it validate, okay, is this the right user? Is he requesting the right information? Do we have that information and all? And if I just open this to a little more extent, you see here, this API call is getting to something called mail.google.com. Then there is something mail-statics, and obviously it is just single API call. There are hundreds of such API calls are happening just behind the scene. If you see, it says request method is get because I tried to get information about one email. It says it's 200, okay. So it validated my request, got the email content out, as well as many more things over here, right? So even you see the response, whole lot of coding, whole lot of code is being written over here. But again, we generally work with this thing, right? We simply are bothered about this thing. So over here, I say reply, See, many API calls are being done again. If I just type in something, again, certain API calls are happening. So this is how the backend of any system works, right? And this is not just about Gmail. It can be for Instagram, it can be for Facebook, all of the platforms. So let's see just for Instagram. If I click F12 over here, and then I simply click on this particular post, see, these many API calls are happening just behind the scene. Isn't it amazing? Like, that's how systems are working, right? Okay, so now what we are going to do is we'll hijack this part, we'll try to learn how to work with this layer so we don't have to work on this particular one, right, on the UI. And we can get rid of users who are engaging with the system. We can ask machines to engage directly over here. So first of all, where we can find the API for any software. If I say I was here and I could directly work with these APIs, or I tried to diagnose them, what each of these API calls are doing, it'll be humanly impossible because this particular set of API calls are actually happening in support of whatever we see on the front end, right? So, for example, Gmail, when we operate Gmail, Google has to do many more things. It is like, for example, I just wrote something over here. I did not save it, but still you see here, there's a draft saved, some text which I wrote here. So, Gmail has to handle that. Along with that, Gmail has to handle many more services over here. So, there is something called Google Chat, Google Meet, then there is a login session, there is something called like am I available, do not disturb, and so on. So Gmail interface has to manage many more things, and it is not just about like sending an email or receiving an email. They are doing many API calls just to maintain this whole interface, right? And that is not actually usable for us because we just want to send email, we want to receive email, do some posting and all. So again, we don't want to simply copy or diagnose this whole thing. What Gmail did is, or what most of the companies do actually is, they give you a proper API documentation which you can help and you can simply uh, go ahead and use those API for your specific use case, right? You don't have to build this whole interface as such, right? You just wanted to work with one of the element. So what companies do is they publish an API documentation just at the bottom of their website at the footer section, where you can find something called developer section, API section, or resources section. Or if you don't find it there, simply go ahead and do a Google search. So for example, if I go here, I'll say Gmail API documentation, something like this. The first result comes in which says developer.google.com, and it can take me to the right documentation page where I can see all the Gmail APIs. Same thing I can do for Facebook, same thing I can do for Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Sheet, Google Drive, whatever system I use, simply type in on your browser and the system will take you to the right page, right? Now, once you land on any API documentation, you can see here, it is a well-structured thing which says, let's say if I have to create an email or send email, there are multiple methods available. I can manage my mailboxes, I can manage settings from here, and many more things can be done. Just for example, if you want to send an email, let's click here and let's see some magic. So Gmail says sending email. There are two ways to do it. You can either directly send it or you can save it in a draft and then from there it can send. Then it says emails are sent in base 64 URL encoded thing. So a little technical language, but again, it has to be followed if you wanted to work with API. Then it says there are 3 steps. So you have to create an email content, put it as a raw content, then use this method called message.send, draft.send, and your things will work out. So this is one way of doing things. And finally, it comes here which says if you want to use this API, either go ahead and learn Java or go ahead and learn Python script and just use this whole Python script over here. This is our endpoint. So if you do API call over here using this Python, you can simply use our APIs, automate your system, right? Now, how many of you can use it, can even read this Python script? Or if I switch it to JavaScript, how many of you can even read and understand what is being written here? Quickly. Quickly, guys, I'm waiting for your chat. Are there any developers? Okay. Yeah, someone says they can read Python. Kudos to you, but I'm going to make your life also easy. So, okay. Sorry. So, whoever can read and understand this Python, Absolutely good. Heads off to you. You would have already invested a couple of years learning Python, and then you can still read it now. People who cannot, like me as well, right? I'm not very pro in Python, JavaScript, and all those things. So people like us who can't even make or figure out things, what's being written here, what is import message, how I'm going to run this entire code, how to configure, structure that. That's a big roadblock, right? We can't do anything beyond this point. We know APIs exist. We know it can be done, but we'll either have to hire a freelancer or a heavy expensive IT company who can get this thing done. And if your use case is very small, very basic level, no one will even like going to engage with this. So in practical, what happened is most of the time we end up like keep on doing the manual work because we don't know the technical stuff. And that's where things get stuck. Now, even before that, let me address you one more question, very, very important part. For example, if you do APIs or if you use APIs, see, your power become absolute next level. So for example, if you are using Gmail as a human, as a normal person, or maybe if you're using Instagram as a normal person, how many posts you can make a day sitting on a computer, sitting with your hands and mouse, keyboard, everything? Maybe 10 posts, 20 posts, 30 posts, up to 100 posts, right? If you are sitting for 8 hours a day on Instagram only. But what if I tell you a system, another machine who can control your Instagram API, who can control your Gmail API, can even do 1000 posts in less than 5 minutes. And you know already, right, how fast machines are, how fast AI is. So there is a big question comes in, why these companies would even allow me to use system? It may be exploitation of their system and it can go like absolute next level. So do they allow us? Do we have to pay something for the API usage? Because once we get into API world, our usage become absolute next level. So the answer is it all depends upon, like, do you have to pay for API? So it all depends upon what kind of software is that, what is your use case, and who's your software vendor or the provider. And primarily we can divide this whole thing into three categories. So there is a free API available for usage, there are freemium models available, and there are complete paid model available. So in case of free, let's say you don't have to pay anything. Couple of examples like Instagram is there, Facebook is there. So for their business account, for business pages, Facebook, Instagram provide free API. They do not charge you for anything. In case of Zoho CRM, for example, they give you API access within their regular subscription. So let's say if you buy a Zoho license or if you're using Zoho system, you have to pay, let's say, 2000 rupees a month for each license. They say, okay, API is free included within your licensing plan. So you don't have to pay anything extra for the API. Then there is another thing like freemium model. The Gmail is really good example. So Gmail has both free and paid APIs. Free is available on your personal accounts where like Gmail discourages the usage. It says it's a longer process. If you wanted to use API, go ahead, do this connection setup, many more things, and then you'll be able to use it. In case if you have a G Suite account, which is a paid account, then you can straightforward go ahead on a single click, you'll be able to generate API key and that can be started using immediately. Obviously they will have limitations as well. So within Gmail, let's say you can do 2000 API calls a day. That's their limit, right? So 2000 emails can be sent, 2000 emails can be figured out, fetched from the system and all. And then there is a third category where you have to pay for every single use. So good example is WhatsApp Business Cloud, which charges you for even a single message that you send out to through WhatsApp. So let's say if you're using WhatsApp official API, to send SMS or to send messages, they'll charge you like 80 paisa, 90 paisa, 1 rupees for every single conversation you initiate from WhatsApp platform. Same way for SMS, same way for any sort of AI calling. So all of these things are fully paid. There is no free tier, there is no premium thing. So that's how you'll have to judge, you'll have to figure out how much you're going to pay for your API usage. Now, as I said earlier, you can see this Python code, this JavaScript, right? We cannot read this, we can't even use it, and we don't have time to learn all these things. And that becomes a really big roadblock between us and the automation, between us and the productivity. So, how can we overcome this? There are two good sayings, something called necessity is the mother of inventions, innovations. Avashyakta avishkar ki janni hai. If you all would have heard Hindi, English, any one of them, right? So what happened is many people figured out like millions and millions of people would want to automate their actions. And that's where entrepreneurs came, that's where innovative minds came, and they said, why not to build something which is a no code, low code thing, can be help or can be helpful for building automation workflows, like how we saw on make.com. So without understanding, without learning code, you can still build your workflows, and all the heavy liftings, all the coding part is already taken care by these platforms. Like Zapier is there, make.com, Microsoft Power Automate, and many more. So what these guys did is they said, why not to build such platform which can be helpful for millions and millions of people who wanted to automate their things, who wanted to get more and more things done with their less technical knowledge as well. And this is a quick list of couple of really good popular platform. Number one is called Zapier, currently used by almost 2.5 million organizations or users across the globe, almost 25 lakh, right? Second number comes at make.com, currently used by almost a million organizations, million companies across the globe. Then Microsoft also came in the race. Microsoft launched this platform called Microsoft Power Automate. Then there is something called Kissflow, Automate.io, Pabbly, and so many more. So these are a couple of good tools, and not limited to these six. These are like a couple of popular tools. If you go on Google, search no code, low code automation tools, you'll find hundreds and hundreds more tools. Right. So this whole industry, this whole era started almost 12 years back. You would wonder like why we are studying this now. People are already using them from last 12 years where we were at until this time. So my answer to you is there was no out skill program, there was no funny, no one was there to tell you such thing actually exist, right? And that's where in my introduction I told you, right? Currently we are focused on Australia, US, Europe kind of market where these things are in good trend, people are or businesses wanted to use it. And that's where this education is now coming to our countries, our places as well. So uh, now obviously after this entire workshop, this masterclass, you'll be way more advanced in terms of knowing things what's happening at the global level, and you can also adapt those practices. But yeah, these things already in exist for quite a long time now. Before we choose, you may have a question, why we are talking about only make in this session, why not Zapier, why not Power Automate, why or how can I choose a right tool for my automation needs? So what I did is I created 4 parameters which can help you to choose the right platform, because otherwise the list is overwhelming. You may find 500 platforms and you will just juggle up like what is right fit for my needs. These four parameters can help you to take a wise decision about your automation platform choice. Number one, and the most important, is reliability. What do I mean by that? See, when we start automation, it's all like a fun, right? You are here in this class just to explore. Many of the people would be just to explore, okay, what things are available in market, how can I enhance my thing and all. But after a certain point of time, when you start automating, it's like an addiction. Believe me, it's an addiction. And I'll show you, I'll prove you that as well later on. So you start with a fun, you start with basic things. Okay, let's try to automate something. And gradually, when you see the benefits, when you see, okay, how powerful these things are, how powerful AI implementation are, then you start even automating your critical processes. Wherever your involvement, your key people are involved, your business is relying on certain process, you start automating them as well. And what happens is, in that case, you are giving your all your business, I would say, uh, core resources, core things to a platform. That platform is going to run them, right? It's going to be your the most important resource, the most important person, the most important employee of your team, right? Will become the automation. What if that person does not show up on a particular day? Or what if this system fails on a particular day? Your entire business, your entire setup can collapse, right? You can't even move without being this thing live. So that's where reliability comes in the picture. And that's where you see like how we choose our teams, the people we give places to our team. Those are the most reliable people. In the same way, we should give this whole critical processes, the whole critical automation to the platform which is the most reliable, right? So that is the number one condition. You should not compromise any time on the reliability part. Second thing is very, very important about pricing thing. So you should always think of like what is the cost of running this whole automation thing? It's not free, obviously, right? Make Zapier, Power Automate, everyone will charge you some money to operate their platform. But we'll have to compare the cost. We'll have to do the cost benefit analysis. Is it worth putting a human resource or putting automation in place? The pricing, if let's say building automation project or let's say developing everything will cost you more than a human to work for like 6 months, always go with human if it is less costly. But if it is more costlier, then obviously you can go for the automation part. And again, between the platform also, there are different pricing plans available, different configurations are available. So you should choose wisely what fits to your budget. Third aspect is ease of learn and use. As I said earlier, when you start automation, it's all fun. You're doing it by yourself. But gradually, when things increases, you would also want to involve your own team. You'll hand over things. You'll just delegate them. Okay, I built a couple of flows. I built certain automations. Now my team member should do it, right? Or he should take care of it. What happens if platform is really difficult to manage, to learn, and to use? It will ultimately become extra burden on yourself as an entrepreneur, as the initiator, as the first person who take the first step, right? So you should choose the platform where you can do easy handovers or you can involve more and more people. And finally, it comes to scalability. Again, very critical point, because see, today you may have a certain tech stake. For example, you have a particular CRM, you have Gmail, you have WhatsApp, you have certain other SMS service and all. The current automation platform fits or work with all of these things. But what if tomorrow there is a AI agent comes in picture? Will that AI agent be able to correlate or to accommodate within this automation workspace or not? If not, then either you'll have to let go that particular AI agent, that let go that particular AI technology, or you'll have to like simply change your automation platform. And that is very painful because your processor already running there. So the best way is, when you choose automation platform, always ensure whether it is future scalable or future ready or not. Is it scalable? Can it connect with more and more new applications that are coming in? If yes, then go with that. So these are four important factors that I would always consider before choosing a right platform. Now, when I did the whole study, when I looked out like about 20 top platforms of automation, no code, low code exist in market, what I found is make.com is one of the platform which is most prominent, most easy to use, very flexible in pricing part, very much stable, I would say, or reliable, and then it is future ready as well. So first of all, it cost almost 20 times less than the first opponent, which is Zapier. Second, it got an amazing visual builder. So I'm going to showcase you while building an automation scenario in the practical part. You will see how easy it is to build automation. Third thing is, as I said, we can do all the custom API call. We can incorporate many more tools, many more like unconnected things which are not exist in Mac, but we can easily connect them inside Mac. It has amazing data handling, really good advanced options and functions where you don't have to even write anything. It's as simple as writing a Excel or Google Sheet formula. So that's how things are working there. And finally, it is obviously reliable. So it follows US HIPAA compliances, which is one of the most stringent compliance across the data security on internet. And secondly, it is also following GDPR compliances for European Union, right? So EU part. So that's where I chose why not to like give you a complete hands-on experience on make.com. Now, before we get into the practical part, two more important steps, two more important consideration. Automation is exciting, right? We all would like to have hands-on thing, would like to automate processes out of fun, out of need, everything. But before even getting in there, we should understand what can be automated, what should be automated, or what cannot be automated. If you know the differentiation, then your life will become easy. Otherwise, if you don't know this, you will end up wasting so much time, effort, money, and you will end up like having nothing in hand, right? It may be even demotivating that I tried to automate something without knowing the fundamentals and nothing worked out. So you may go back, okay, I was good at manual process. But if you know this entire checklist, good to have like you can do much more justice to your efforts. So first of all, you should check if your software base, whatever softwares you wanted to include in this entire process, has APIs available or not. That is the fundamental number one. So anytime you wanted to create automation, ensure that all the softwares involved in this whole automation process should have APIs available. That is very much stringent. Second is process should be repetitive enough. For example, if you're doing something once a month, twice a month, and that takes hardly 20 minutes every time, I would say you should not automate that. It's more than good. Like you have human control, your own control. Go ahead and do that activity for an hour, spend that time. Because if you build automation, it'll be even more complex. You may end up wasting many, many hours just trying to figure out that thing, which is not very much usable. And the last and very important part is you should have predefined steps, rules, logics, and conditions. Because see, when we do any task, we are humans, we can take instant decision. We know from our experiences, we know like how to handle situations. But when it comes to the machines who are operating your process, they absolutely don't know. Like they can't make decision. They just run by the rule, right? So if your rules are defined, if your practices are defined, steps are defined, then only automation will be able to run successfully. Otherwise, every time it will need your attention. Every now and then it's going to get failed, right? So always have a process in hand. That's very, very important. With that being said, let me show you one process example, how to define the steps, flow, and everything. And that is the common practice what we follow with all our clients. You can see here. So this is a agency, one marketing agency is there, and they wanted to do the entire lead nurturing automation where the system is going to run through certain steps and will decide whether the lead is qualified, not qualified, and take further steps. So we asked them create a visual flow chart, a complete visual structure of your process. And if you know that like how the process is going to work, then only we are going to help you automate that. We'll not do any process ideation. So see here, this lead management process start from here, which is something called if lead is added to a CRM or lead is coming from a CSV, a lead magnet, opt-in form, then it goes here and it's going to do the lead research using a tool called Phantom Buster. Then from Phantom Buster, it will follow two routes. One is lead nurturing using the SMS part and the personalized email part. Then email goes here. An AI system is going to send personalized email based upon the entire lead research content. Then it'll wait, like first email is initiated, will wait for reply. If no reply, it's going to do the second thing, right? If reply is coming in, AI is going to take care of that entire conversation. AI will ask certain questions for qualification of this lead, and then AI will classify it after certain number of interactions that whether the lead is disqualified, whether lead is qualified, or it is not yet qualified. Like its person is interested but not don't want to buy right now or don't want to engage with our business right now. So that's how the whole process. And if the lead qualifies, it's going to send them a meeting link, it's going to send them a payment link, a product link, and so on. So this is how the whole process look like. And since every steps is defined over here, now it is really easy to build the whole automation, right? So as I said, whenever you plan building any automation, have this level of clarity, this level of visual thing in vision in your mind, and then only go ahead and touch. Otherwise it'll be a hell lot of waste of time, right? Now, the last thing is a quick pre-automation checklist for you. So first of all, like you should list down all the softwares which are going to involve into the process. You should ensure if the APIs are available or not, whether APIs are free or paid. If they are paid, you can always consider any alternative. Free, then just check the limitations. And then finally create a visual flowchart with all the logics, all the steps, and then your automation journey will become, or I would say will start with a successful step at the first point. So yeah, with that being said, shall we get into the practical aspect of automation? Quickly, who all are hungry? Who all are taking dinner? At least tell me. Just comment dinner if anyone is taking now. A working dinner, I would say. Okay, Pavan, great. Yes, in 30 minutes. Guys, we're going to spend at least 1.5 hours more on this class. And since you already committed to funny, you are going to stay here. So take working dinner, take whatever needed, but we stay here. Now, before that, I would like to give you a quick, I would say, a bonus, a kind of giveaway from Make. Just take a screenshot for now. Don't do anything. Don't like try to create any account or something. So this is a magic link given by make.com. which gives you 10,000 operations on your sign up. So whenever you wanted to create an account, plan to create an account, just go ahead with this. And it is given to all the partners. So there is like nothing about this session is, by the way, not sponsored by Make. You're free to choose any platform among the one I shown you right over here. Among these 6 platforms, or there are hundreds of platforms available on Google. So you can free to choose whatever you want. But since we are taking this session and I'm going to guide you on Make, that's why I thought why not to give you a link which can give you 10,000 operations at the start. So you can do like whatever number of experiments, experiences with Make, with automation. It'll make your life easy. You don't have to pay anything at the start point. So yeah, just take a screenshot and then let's get into Make. Ready? Okay. Let's get in here. Perfect. See guys, so when you get on Make, just type in make.com or follow the link, and then it'll going to give you this kind of a space where you can sign up, you can start it for free. You don't have to pay anything to Make, right? Now, this is the first level of sign up interface where you're going to see multiple options to sign up. One is you can go with Google sign up, Facebook, or people who are developers, quite technology friendly guys who would have the GitHub profile. You can go with that as well. Then you'll have something called a normal sign up form, your name, email address, password, and then you can sign up straight up. There are two important fields exist on this particular screen. One is called hosting region, second is country. Now these are very, very important. Let me explain you quickly. So hosting region means, if you know, I spoke about some data security or data privacy law. One is called HIPAA compliance in US, second is called GDPR in EU, European Union. Now, Make has to follow both of these compliances. And because of that, what these compliances says, these regulations says, if you are working with US organizations, you'll have to keep data inside US based server. So the server or the data center exists in US territory. You should keep all the data within them. All the US people data should be kept there. GDPR says you should keep all your European Union clients data into Europe servers. So that's where Make thought of, okay, why not to set up two different data servers, two different data centers, and that's where they keep all the data as per the client's choice. So if you are someone who's from Europe or from US, you can choose any one of them as per your like right data security things. If you are anywhere outside of these two regions, like apart from these two, anywhere in the world, then you can choose any one of them as per your choice. There is no difference in terms of features, no difference in pricing, no difference in speed, no difference in any experience. It's exactly same, right? So from India, you can choose any one of them, absolutely fine. Now, the second part is country. This is super important. Why so? Because based on this country, the automation will take your time zone setting. Now, what do you mean by time zone? Let's say if you schedule an email reply or a social media post at 10 a.m. every day, like who's 10 a.m.? If you're from India, if you select India 10 a.m., then it's going to be India time 10 a.m. So when you wake up, you are ready, your post will go out. But if you select, let's say US 10 a.m., for example, if you select US as a region, that 10 a.m. will become in your, like, will come somewhere at your midnight, right? So that's the importance of selecting the right reason. And obviously, you can change it later on. If you move your country or if you wanted to go to different time zone, you can absolutely go ahead and change this time zone as per your requirement. But essentially, at the first part, you should always choose it like your base country, wherever you wanted to follow the time zone. Now, once you do this part, you will get into make.com. Okay, let me just log in here. Admin. Guys, sorry, one sec. Somehow my thing got logged out. Meanwhile, you can take a quick water break or something. That's fine. So in our organization, actually, many people work on the same Make account due to various client projects has to be handled, and that's where logins get spoiled. Okay, perfect. I got it. Perfect. So once you are logging into Make, you will see something like this. A screen which gives you complete visibility of make.com interface, right? So a purple ribbon which has many more things over here, and then there is a centralized dashboard. Now, let me explain you what this widgets are, why this is important. So let's say when we work on make.com, what make does is it's actually helping you to automate your manual task, your physical task. So, for example, let's say if I was supposed to do this whole process myself, what I will do, I'll simply go here, grab this idea content, put that into a chat GPT, get all of these content generated, get the image generated, put everything back over here. So all of these tasks I'll have to do myself manually by hands, right? But now Make is going to handle everything for me. It'll go to Google Sheet, it'll connect it to ChatGPT, it'll grab the image, everything will be done. And then from there, it's going to even post this whole thing on different social media channels. Now, what makes is if I'm replicating your actions, then that means like each task, what you were doing, I'm doing for you, right? And that's where Make says I'm going to charge you for every task, every particular action that I take, I reduce, I'll charge for that. So what Make is these number of tasks, let's say grab data from Google Sheet, put that into GPT, generate content, generate image, and even put everything back into Google Sheet. These are four number of different tasks which Make has to do for me. Then I don't have to even touch the system. So Make says each task is counted as one operation. So Make follows that operation. Some other platform call it tasks, right? So either these are tasks or number of operations. Make says I'm going to give you 10,000 tasks for $10, right? That's their pricing. So for example, if I run this whole thing, I'm going to spend about like four tasks over here. And if I follow this whole publishing method, I'm going to spend about six tasks over here. So in total, to generate a post and to publish a post, it will take me total 10 tasks on make.com platform, which anyways I had to do manually. Even if I go manual, I'll have to do it on my with my hands on my system, right? So Make says in the similar way, I'm going to give you 10,000 tasks for $10. So that's their pricing. This dashboard shows me how many tasks I already consumed out of those 10,000. So here almost 51% tasks are being consumed, right? Then the second parameter what they wanted to track is the amount of data transfer happened while I perform these tasks. So for example, if I go here, let me go to history run and just show you. So basically, whenever Make connect with any application, for example, over here, when I published a post today, it went into Google Sheet, grabbed the whole post data, got it inside Make, and see here, it consumed about 5.5 KB data. So whatever data you see here, my initial idea, my whole post content for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on, even the image content, it is in total, the content size is 5.5 KB. The same way, when it went ahead and published this content on LinkedIn, the size was about 44 bytes. You may even like laugh, what is this? A 5 KB, 5 MB, it doesn't make any sense these days, right? We have GBs and GBs of memory, RAM inside our systems. So when it works with the all content, all textual data, the size is super low, right? And what makes is if I'm getting some data from here, 5 KB data, I'll deliver that 5 KB data over here, 5 KB over here. In total, what it consumed is almost 900 kilobyte data while working with this entire flow. Now, this means like nothing, just a 900 KB or 1 MB. What if I tell you, I built an automation scenario where there is a video parked inside my Google Drive, and that video has to be published on a particular date, let's say 1st of January, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook as a reel. Now that video can be of, for example, YouTube videos generally in GBs, right? So 500 MB, 1 GB, 2 GB, 5 GB. Still, in that case, Make has to perform only two tasks. Pick that video from Google Drive, post it on YouTube. Just two tasks. But the quantum got changed completely. So you see here, this was earlier only 5 KB, but now it can become even 5 GB, right? And that's why Make says I'll have to track the data as well. Like how much data is being transferred, how much resources are being used from their servers, from their machines. So it is not just about number of operations, but it is even about the quantum or the amount of data being transferred over here. And that's where the whole pricing part comes in. So Make has multiple subscription plans. First of all, it gives you a free plan, free forever. You don't have to apply any card and nothing. It gives you 1,000 operations for free for every month and no limitation forever. So you can build like very small scale automation workflows. Or just for example, if you run this kind of automation scenario, which takes you 10 tasks every post, right? Within 1,000 tasks, you can do up to 100 posts, which is like more than good. 3 posts a day. And for the entire month, you can do it for free, right? And that's the insanely good thing. That's why I chose Make. Like many people can simply operate within the free plan itself. Then there is something called core plan, which gives you, as I said, like if you go beyond the 1,000, you can go for straight up 10,000 for $10, 20,000 tasks for $18, and the price is decremental. So you can see here, like up to 1,50,000 tasks can be purchased for $116. And believe me, there are many organizations who are even spending up to $5,000 a month, about like 5 million tasks, 4 million tasks, and those are our clients. So that much people are dependent these days on automation, that much processes are being automated already. So that many number of tasks are being taken care by the automation systems. Then there is something called pro plan, teams plan. Believe me, it's a pro tip for you. 99% of Make users are more than good with the core plan. So you don't have to spend extra money on pro, teams, or even enterprise plan. Just go with core plan if it's required, or if you go beyond 1,000 operations. Now, you may have a question like, if I go ahead with 10,000 operations, I end up using all of them at, let's say, 15th day of the month. Should I upgrade my plan to 20,000? Or there is any other option? Or should I just wait for month to end and then I'll start my operations again? So the answer is there is a good flexibility provided by Make, which is called buy extra operations. So in case if you end up using all your operations for that particular month, then you can still buy extra operation in the round off of 1,000. So an extra 1,000 operation will cost you about $1, $1.06 actually. So if you buy 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 as per your need, you can simply go ahead and buy whatever number you want. And for next month, you can simply apply, like do some calculations how many operations will require for your regular transition, right? So that is part one of the whole Make plan. Second is about the users. You would have already heard or experienced all of the software these days work on the user base or license base or seed based plan. So if you add one user, they'll charge you okay $5, $10 every user. If you add second user, there'll be extra cost. Third user, extra cost. What Make did good is they said we are not bothered about how many people are using the platform. We are just concerned about how many operations, how many tasks Make has to perform for you, right? So, for example, if you buy 10,000 tasks, Make will get you pricing for 10,000, right? They say you can onboard unlimited number of users, whatever number of people you have within your organization, just go ahead, onboard them. We are not bothered at all how many people are using system. We are bothered about how much system is being used, how many tasks you are performing, how many operations you consume. That's a golden thing, I would say. And with this particular advantage, you can onboard all of your people, all of your critical, important people who wanted to automate their tasks on this platform without incurring any additional cost, right? Even on free plan, you can add as many people as you want. So now, within this particular thing, you can assign different roles. So you can make them admin, member, accountant, app developer. So these are different roles what every person can do. And accordingly, your organization can come on make.com. Now, finally, one important thing is in case if you wanted to change your time zone, simply go here, country or something. But reason cannot be changed, but time zone can be changed. So, like wherever you are, simply change it from here. So these are a couple of important settings. Apart from this, like the payment part, installed apps, and these variables are not much important at this point. So this is a quick overview of Make. Now, why we are on Make? To build automations, right? And we did not spoke about automation until now. So when we talk about automations, when we talk about workflows on Make, they are actually called scenarios, right? Scenario means a given situation, a given set of tasks which has to be performed by Make or on the Make platform. So here you see there is a tab called scenarios, or here you see a purple button which is called create a new scenario, right? Let's go with this particular section at the start, click on scenarios. And over here, this is how the whole scenario listing look like. So for example, currently I have about 5-6 active automations, and then there is a long list of inactive automation as well, which I'm not using currently, but I built many of them. So simply you see a whole list of things over here. Apart from that, in case if multiple people are working on the same account, or maybe if you are uh, building automation for multiple processes, you can always create folders over here. So simply click on this, create a folder, and park your scenario into that particular folder. So you have a proper classification of everything. So let's say we have accounting folder, we have DIY blueprints, school things, and many more things, right? So that's how you can classify things in a well manner. In case you want to activate or deactivate scenarios, simply click on this. It'll either active or deactive. Now, let's get into the actual practical automation development, how we build automation scenarios on Make. Right. So let's simply click on this button called create a new scenario. Now, as soon as you do, remember all the things, all the advantages which I told you Make has, right? The easy interface, easy learning curve, and alongside many more benefits over here. So once you get into any automation scenario, or the first, I would say, the blank automation scenario, the screen look like this. It's a plain canvas with this kind of a placeholder which can drag, drop, move anywhere, wherever you want. Then there are a couple of controls given over here, which will come to later on. Now, before we touch this automation, remember I told you there is a pre-automation checklist. You should know what you wanted to automate. You should know what all softwares are involved. You should know APIs are available or not. And you should also define a full length process, like what I'm going to do at step one, step two, step three, what are the logics, what are the conditions, and then the system is going to follow those steps, the same sequence again and again and again. So give you the right output, the expected output, what you configured it for. So this kind of a process development is very much essential before we start it. Now let's go back to the same example, the same case, what I built actually for my own automation need. Right. Let's create a new Google Sheet and let's start from here. So the automation case start from the very basic thing, which is called what is the need of automation. So for example, let's say I had a requirement, I had a problem statement which says I get many ideas every day. I wanted to create social media posts around them, but I don't have time, right? So I need some place where I can park ideas. Then I wanted to connect it to some sort of AI, be it GPT, be it any sort Anthropic Cloud, Perplexity, or any AI. AI is going to create content for me. AI is going to create image for me, and then I have two choices. One is either the same AI can do automated posting on social media, or if I don't rely on AI, then I'll say, no, I wanted to make that post. So I wanted to review that content first, and then I'll tell AI, okay, go ahead and make the post. Because obviously my accounts are sensitive. I don't want to get into any sort of, let's say, uh, puzzle or any sort of awkward situation when AI did something bad, not the correct approach, and I was not even knowing to that, right? So I put in the process in middle that I want to review all the content which goes out before it goes out, right? So first of all, my initial thought process is I get hundreds of ideas every day and I wanted to park them somewhere because I can't keep them in my mind. I may slip out something. So I thought, like, what is the best tool to do that? It can be a notepad, it can be Excel sheet, it can be a Google sheet, it can be Airtable or something else. What I could decide is Google Sheet is a free tool, so let's go ahead with Google Sheet. So I simply created a Google Sheet over here. It's called Master Social Media Automation, Content and Posting version 1. Within that, I have a sheet called Sheet 20. Let's give it a good name. So it can be Social Media Posting Tracker, for example. So I created a file, I created a sheet over here. Now, at the first column, what I want is let's have or let's park all the ideas over here. So initially, I'll say this is the first column where I can put, I'll just zoom in, idea, or maybe I'll say content ideas, right? So whenever I get any idea, I can simply put things over here and system should pick from here itself. Now, can any one of you quickly tell me at least two, three, four ideas what you wanted to create post about? Quickly. Okay, I don't see your chat. New product launch, tracking post. Guys, try to do one thing. Just give it at least one sentence or two sentences. Take your time. That's fine. Just take one or two sentences so we can do justice with the post. Otherwise, it'll be a disaster, right? You will see something really awkward, weird, which GPT could not sense. Like, what is the context about the session? Okay, a good thing about the session. So I already had something in my mind that says write a post about AI generalist, how it is becoming important skill for future, right? So let's say I'll just put something over here. You all can see. Let me format the sheet quickly. And I hope I'm not going too fast. Is it digestible? Are you all with me? Are you getting what I'm like trying to communicate? Quickly, just confirm me. Am I fast? I'm good. Am I slow? Am I like really going really slow? Okay, it's all good, right? Mostly good pace. Perfect. Good validation. Thank you. So, okay, someone said just create a post about this particular session. Here, the content idea is write a post about or how the AI generalist role is becoming very important. It should include numbers and to bring in like better context, understanding, and so on. This can be anything, right? Whatever comes to mind, you can just put things over here. And I think someone started establishing business of operations using AI. I'll try to include that as well. Establishment of business operations using AI. Who's that? Sai Shweta. You gave it a good idea. Perfect. See, so we have now two ideas. Maybe 10 more comes out. The second part of my thought process is I wanted to post on three different social media platforms where I wanted my presence. So it's Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, right? These are the three platforms where I have either business pages or my own personal account, and that's where these posts should go. But a question in my mind, like, should I create one single piece of content, one single image that goes same across all the platform? Then I realized no. Why not? Because the LinkedIn is a more professional, more formal platform versus Instagram is very much casual, right? Facebook is a kind of middle level of both. So the same content, the same post structure is not going to work on all these platforms. So then I decided, why not to create platform specific content for each of these segment. So once the content will be created, it's going to be like you can see here, this is my post idea. I wanted three pieces of content for different platforms. So here I can put something like, let's say, Facebook post content. Then I'll have another piece called Instagram post content. Then I'll have something here for LinkedIn post content. See, again, I'm telling you one very important thing. This is whole process that I built in my mind as per my own use case. Now, you may have something different. You may have a different use case. You may have a different thought process. You may have a different way of working. It all depends how you think, what the need you have, and like how you want to build this automation, what kind of control you want, right? So super important to define that thought process. Super important to define that vision, that whole idea, and then only you should start touching the automation. So even we have this automation scenario open over here, I did not touch that. I'm going to first establish my process and then only I'm going to test this whole thing. So content idea is good, three pieces of content are good. Then there is another question. Will this be going to be a normal text post or should I add some sort of creative, some sort of image to it? Obviously, the answer is add some image because image posts are more engaging, more attractive, more clickable as compared to a normal text post, right? These days, people have less attention span, no one's going to read directly. People would want to see some image as well. So, image is finalized. But after that, we would want, are these going to be three different images or one single image? So I thought, why not to have one single image? Because creating three different creatives will take more time, more effort. If I'm doing it manually on a Google Drive or something, it's going to take good amount of time effort. And again, image should be consistent across the platform. So post can be recognized. It can be a different voice tone, but image should be same. So my next need is I should have an image over here. Now, obviously I cannot put a file over here, so I'm going to put the image link or image URL, which is correlating with the particular image. So this is my whole structure over here, and I'm good to go with this. The need is established. I just converted this to a table, so it looks all good. And you can see the different post content will come over here along with the image URL. Now, another question came to my mind, and another conflict I would say, I can have or I can get 10 different ideas in next 10 minutes, right? But I don't want to create all 10 posts together in next 10 minutes itself, right? It should be ideas are keep on coming. I wanted this to be as a space where I can park all of them, but I don't want to execute them all together at the same time. It can be an idea bank, so it can like just go one at a time every day, and this will become a huge like a whole repository for the whole year, for whole month, whole 6 month and all. So if I build an automation which is going to look at all of these post ideas, and if it will just list everything, will run everything through, then it will be a disaster for me. So what I thought is, why not to have a control? The control is whenever I say create post for this or create for this, it should create post only for that particular item, not for everything else. And that's where the control column comes in. So here we are going to have something called a control column, control part. And if I say over here, generate content for this, generate content for post, for example, then only this should generate content for this particular post. Otherwise, no need to do any action. Otherwise, like obviously, it'll run everything through. Then, how will I get to know if content is generated? So, as soon as the content is generated, it should say it's ready for review, or AI should say content is ready for review, right? So this is going to be my second status. The third status, since I wanted to review it, then again I'll have to tell it, go ahead and post it, right? So I'll say post this content. This is my third level of command to the system. And then finally, once the posting is done, it will say posting done, something like this. So now these are the four different status I would want to maintain in the sheet as a control, as a command column, as a command thing at every post. So it should not do everything by its own thought process or by without having any control. It should be a controlled environment. Now, I don't want to type it like all the time, generate post content for this post. So what I can do is simply right click here and simply click on drop down. All of these things will become a drop down. So over here, I can give it a color, let's say orange, yellow color over here. Ready for review can be blue, post this content can be purple, and posting done can become green. If I click done, you can see here, Google Sheet is one more good powerful tool. You should always use it to like with good extent. So you can see here, now all of these things came. I just delete it. And if you click on any of these particular drop down, you'll see all of those four things. So now I have better control on my whole content generation as well as how the content is going to be published, right? That's a better approach. Again, I'm telling you one more time, it can be completely different for your own use case, for your own thought process. So you may want to have do it in a different way, but we should all build clarity, we should all build a vision before we start building the automation. That's my thought process, right? Now let's go ahead and start building the automation. So first of all, my thought is put all the ideas over here. So ideas can be parked and they can be used by AI to generate the content. Second is this control, which should be enabled before we take things over there. Let's get into the automation workspace. Perfect. See here. So this is the start point for us. Now, as soon as you click on make.com, this particular first step, click over here and you will see a long list of different applications. So you may even see a couple of really popular names. Google Sheet is there, OpenAI ChatGPT is there, Facebook is there, LinkedIn is there, Instagram, Airtable, Google Doc, Google Drive, Monday.com, Gmail is there, and many, many more tools which you generally see every day in, day out on your professional or business life. Now, let me just give you an example. If I just type in something here called Google, see, almost 30 plus applications from Google are available automatic by default available inside make.com. You don't have to do anything. You can just play around and do any sort of automation on these apps. This include Google Plus, Google Sheet, Google Doc, Google Drive, Google Map, Keep, Chat. Even you would have not heard many names over here. So Google Task is here, Google Photos is here, Google Groups, Calendar, Slides, Gemini is there, Shopping is there, Google My Business is there, many, many more. If you just type in here Microsoft, for example, Let's go with this and say Microsoft. See here, Microsoft Teams, To Do, email is calendar, Power BI, something called Micro Intra ID. You would have never heard of that, but it's also exists. Microsoft Dynamics is a CRM that also exists. SQL Server is there. 365 People is there. Planner is there. Many different business apps. You just type in CRM over here. You will find more than 100 different CRMs which are popular at the global level. See, one CRM is there, HubSpot, Pipedrive, Espo, Zoho, Sugar CRM, Close. It's an endless list. So, in the similar way, Make got you covered with more than 2000 such business apps, which are like very popular in use, right? So, once you click here, mostly you will find your app. Just type here on the search apps, something called, let's say, Google Sheets. So, our process starts from Google Sheet, right? Now, once we click on this Google Sheet module, you see there are multiple actions, multiple triggers available over here. So it all depends upon your process. But to start with, you see here, it has something called watch new raw. So the scenario can trigger as soon as there is a new raw added to Google Sheet. But that's not the right trigger for us because we don't want to trigger whenever we add every new line. We wanted to just park it there. And when it fulfills the condition that the generate post content is a tag to any post, any particular item, then only it should work. Then there are more actions like add a raw, update a raw, bulk update, bulk insert, search raw is there, clear, delete, watch changes, update cell, perform functions. Remember I told you something? When you go to UI, this kind of interface, see, UI is built for easy use by the humans, right? So on this whole interface, you see very less things. Only compose button is there, couple of folders are here, and there are some actions you can take while clicking over here. But when it goes to API, APIs are way more enrooted in the system. And as compared to what you can do on UI, you can do many more things on APIs over here, right? So APIs are much more advanced as compared to the UI part on the screen, right? Because UI has to manage the UX as well, user experience, right? So over here, you can see there is are more and more options available like this. Now, to start with Google Sheet, you can see here there is something called search raw, right? And where it says return result matching the given criteria. So obviously we have a criteria in mind, like whenever there is a post which is marked as content, generate content for this post, then only this should pick and this should be considered by the automation. So let's go ahead and choose this particular trigger called search raw. Right? Now, as soon as we do it, there will be a question. How Make knows which Google Sheet I'm talking about, which Google Sheet I'm using, right? Because Make does not have any connection, any like kind of integration, any talk with my Google Drive. Make doesn't know who am I, like which particular sheet, which particular task I'm talking about. So what Make will say, Make will ask you, why not you connect me with your Google Drive or with your Google Sheet and let me take a look like what all information are available there. So whenever you add any module, you will see there is a connection tab at the top and this will have a button called create a connection. Right. Since my connection is already created, so I can see all the connections over here. But in case if yours is not, simply click on add connection and then you will see something like give it a connection name. So in case if you are trying to add multiple accounts, give it a name. I generally follow practice like I always put a date 26 March and dash I'll say admin gross tax. That's the account I'm going to use. Then over here you see there is a button called sign in with Google. So click on this. A pop-up will come like this and then it will ask you which Google account you wanted to go with. I'll say go ahead with admin gross tax. Now once we are here, it'll ask me like, do you want to sign in with Make? I said, yeah, absolutely fine. Then it is asking me, do you want to allow Make to control your Google Drive files, control your Google Sheets? I said, obviously, yes, that's how Make is going to work with my sheets. So simply allow that. And again, I'm telling you, Make is very much secure platform or Zapier is very much secure platform. You can go ahead and allow connections. There is no risk. Then once the connection is established, now this system will ask me, there can be hundreds of Google Sheets or Google files inside your Google Drive. How would I know which particular file you wanted to work with? So simply here, you'll have to choose which sheet you wanted to work with. So go here, follow the spreadsheet ID, or maybe as soon as you click here, there will be a whole list of all the Google Drive, all the Google Sheet files exist in your Google Drive will come here. You can see all of them are coming over here like this, right? Now, what you can do is simply type in the file name. So I said master social media is my file name. If I just expand it, I can choose this one. See here, so something called master social media automation, content and posting version 1. This is my this is my file name. So if you go here, see, check out this one. So this is the file which I'm going to work with. Then within a file, there can be multiple sheets exist. So over here you see something called social master. Then here's something called social media posting tracker. Then my content manager. Now similar way I can have 100 more sheets over here, right? So it is asking me which particular sheet you wanted to work with. I simply say I want to work with something called social media posting tracker, right? That's how I connect it. Then it is asking me, does this particular table has headers? Because otherwise, if I say no, it's going to consider the first line as my content. So I said, yeah, my sheet has particular headers over there. So if I go here, see this row number 1 has all the headers. This is not a post content. It is actually the headers which are part of the whole structure. Then what column range I should select? By default is selected well only. And then simply click save. That's it, right? The first level of configuration is done with the Google Sheets. Now, okay, one important thing. Never forget this button. This is called save button, right? One really crucial thing about Make is it does not save your scenario progress automatically. There is no funda of auto save, and that can cost you many hours, right? So simply always click on save button and store your progress. Whatever you've done, just save it. Perfect. Now, once we're here, we connected our sheet and we said, okay, search raw from my particular Google Drive, this particular sheet, right? You can always click this small button called run once to test your automation workflow. So click run once and let's see the magic. So it got us data from different raw, different lines from my Google Sheet. See here, there is something called raw number 2, and there is a column A has value. Write a post on how the AI generalist role is going to be very important in the future. The second raw number 3 has establishment of businesses operations using AI. So see, both of these things are over here. And since content is available only in column A, that's why only column A came out. Otherwise, if content is there, they'll also come out. So see how easy it is to integrate your Google Sheet inside make.com. Right? This is the step number 1. Now, as we said, we should have some sort of control over here. And whenever I say generate content for this post or post this content, these are two my actions which I wanted to take with automation. Then only the data should go inside automation, otherwise not, right? So if I choose something here, let's say generate content for the post. If I go back, go here on this particular search row. Guys, sorry, I'm not looking at the comment at the chat for now. I'll answer your questions. Maybe you'll just try to put questions inside form, right? Otherwise, they may lost. Okay, guys, see here. Once I configure this whole thing, there is a middle level called filters or filter. I can filter the data which I wanted to get from my Google Sheet. Because as I said, I don't want to get all the data all the time. I want to get selective data. So as soon as I click on here, see the magic. It already has everything listed over here. All the values from different columns. So column A has content idea, B has Facebook post content, C, D, E, F. F is the control column. So over here I can say if my control column is equal to simply say generate content for the post. If it is this one, then only go ahead and grab that particular line. Now, if I simply save this, let's go to Google Sheet. See here, this one has generate content for post, but the second line, like row number 3, doesn't have anything. It's blank, right? Now, if I run it once again, earlier there were 2 results, row number 3 and 4, sorry, 2 and 3. Now there is only one single result coming out, which has something called column F, generate content for the post. It did not came or not returned this particular result. Not at all, right? And that's how we can have better control inside Make what we wanted to work with. Along with this, we also have a second status, which is called post this content. So obviously I should apply another rule, which is called add or rule. Here I say If my control column status is post this content, then also the content should come out. So either the status is this or the column control status is this. In both the cases, I wanted to have things coming out. Right. Now, can anyone tell me? We got the content here. We received our Google Sheet content here. The post idea. What should I do next? Any ideas quickly? I'll take a quick water break. What should I what should I do next? What is a part of the process? Link Facebook. No. See, we only have the post content idea. We do not have any content here. We do not have even the image. Link ChatGPT, generate content. Amiable, yes, absolutely right. So we should generate the content. We should link this post idea into our GPT. But with GPT, are we talking about this GPT that we use over here on UI? Not actually, because this GPT, I have to write everything by hand by myself because this GPT doesn't work on make.com, right? Now, but then with GPT works. So there is a backend of GPT. If I go here, or if you go here, something called openai.com. See, this is the GPT interface, a user part, a UI part where all the users are working. But if you go back here on ChatGPT website or OpenAI website, you will see something called here API platform. If you click on this, there's something called API login, right? And then now GPT will say this whole thing which we saw earlier, the Python code, Java code, curl request and all. And now we are not bothered about this because we got the power of automation, right? So let's get into the main part of the API side. Now, if I go here, if I simply add another module with a small click and I'll say chat GPT, just type in chat GPT over here and you will see there are multiple AI things are coming in, chat guru, fresh chat, DZ, but at the top we got our OpenAI chat GPT thing. Let's click on this and see there are many different variations available from API. There's something called message and assistant, which is equivalent to custom GPT on APIs. There is something called create a completion, almost identical to what we do on the user interface. Then there are more actions like transform text into structured data, analyze images, generate image, edit image, create translation, transcription, moderation, audio creation, many more things are there. See, all of these things you don't even see on your normal GPT interface because that is a UI. That's not an API thing. APIs are much more enrooted in the system. So that's where we can get this whole lot of more options, whole lot of more things out on the API side. Now, for our purpose, we'll simply go with something called create a completion. So let's click on this. Again, GPT is going to ask us who you are. Sorry, Make is going to ask us who you are, what kind of GPT you wanted to use. Make is not giving you any GPT. So we'll have to establish our connection over here. So click on add and then we'll have this thing coming out. So obviously we can give it a name and then here is the API key requested by the make.com. So it can authorize like your API usage. So we can simply go here, click on this settings icon and then there is something called API key, right? Now, we can straightforward create an API key over here. So click on this create new secret key. I'll say masterclass 26th March. And then I can choose a default project, which is a default project over here, and simply create secret key, right? Now, this API key generated, simply copy. Let's go to make, paste this key, and our connection is done, right? See, this is how simple it is. Now, once we are here, it'll say which model you wanted to choose. Right? Now, if you click on this, it'll give you a long list of different models, which are latest as well as the most earliest one. So over here, you can see there is something called O3, latest model. O1 is another latest reasoning model over here, as well as 4.5, 4 also has a very economical version called 4O Mini, right? This is one of the cheapest model from GPT, fastest as well as most accurate. Then alongside this, you can even use GPT-4, GPT 3.5. So those kind of models can also be used for different type of tasks. Now, but our reason will go with something called GPT-4o Mini. Before that, Let me just show you something more over here. Once we created this API key, remember I told you GPT, this backend is completely separate, completely different from this one. So over here, you can pay like $20, $25 kind of pricing. So this is our current plan at this point, $20 per month. Now, this does not include APIs. It says simply use GPT on this particular screen as much as you want. They are absolutely okay. But if you take it to API, your usage can become insanely like next level, right? You can use hundreds of thousands of posts, hundreds of thousands of content pieces you can create every day, every hour using APIs. That's where OpenAI said, we cannot include your API usage within this $20 plan. You'll have to go and pay separate for the API usage. So once we go here on API, see here something called billing. Click on this and you see you'll have to add money over here. So it is currently I have $5.84 loaded on this. And it says when your credit balance reaches to $0, your API request will stop working. Right. So your automation will no longer work. So you'll have to pay extra money for the API usage because API usage is completely different domain. Now, you may wonder like how much should I pay for this? How does this whole pricing works? I can load this advanced balance, that's absolutely fine. But is it expensive? Is it going to like put a hole in my pocket? For that answer, let's go and check out the pricing. So just below this $5 at the bottom, you see something called pricing. Click on this, and then you will see the GPT pricing by their different models and how much tokens you wanted to like get or consume. So, for example, currently GPT O1 is the most expensive module, which says it is going to charge you $15 for every million token. You would have already experienced like learned what is token, how AIs are working and all. Then GPT O3 mini consumes like $1.10 for every million tokens. And then some magical part comes in, GPT-4o mini, which is one of the least expensive module, which says a model I would say 15 cents for a million token. 15 cents is in Indian rupees, it's just 12 rupees for a million token, right? Now, this is how you can choose which particular model you wanted to work with. So I simply said, go ahead and do with GPT-4o mini. And this is, I would say, most versatile model, which can be used for almost all regular tasks. You wanted to generate any post content, analyze data, do some sort of brainstorming, everything can be done, all regular cases with 4o mini very well, right? So once we selected our model, simply go here. And now we wanted to interact with this GPT. How the interaction will work? In this regular case, we simply have to put our prompt here and then GPT respond with its thoughts, right? But in this case, we do not have any live interaction with GPT. It's all will be done by the automation. So here it is counted as a message. We wanted to send a message to GPT and GPT will work upon that. So here we can configure our message. So first of all, we define a role over here. Like what is the role we wanted to give GPT to? So it can be user role, assistant role, developer system role. You may get confused, but I'll tell you, assistant is the one of the most common and the basic rule. This works in almost all the scenarios. Number one. Second is for most of the use cases, which are quite common, very basic level, these role definition doesn't make much difference, right? If you are using any sophisticated, very specific use case, then you can obviously think of like which one to which one to choose. But mostly, assistant is more than good. Right? Now, once you do this, then we'll have to give it a message. Now, what is the message? The message is going to be the prompt which will ask GPT to execute. So what happens is I'll have to give it a prompt along with my data, and then GPT is going to work along. So what I did actually is I thought why not to create prompt for the content creation, and that's where things come here. So I created a prompt which says for the content creation, you're a professional social media content creator who specialize in platforms optimized content for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'll provide you specific topics. You have to follow this guideline. So in case of Facebook, keep the post as conversational, engaging, encouraging, and shareable. Put 1 to 2 emojis. Max word length is 150 words. Instagram should be vibrant, casual, and then 3-5 emojis up to 100 words. And then LinkedIn should be 1 to 0 emojis and maximum 200 words, right? Then I said, give me content into proper JSON structure. JSON is again a machine readable language which can define like each of these post content for each of these platform can be defined specifically, right? So it can come out very specific and can be mapped to the next modules. Then I gave it further more guidance, and then finally I said, here is my post content, whatever I wanted to create the whole post around. So simply let's copy this whole thing. Let's put it over here and see this. So you see, the entire prompt came here, and now I have a placeholder over here at the last which says, here is the content idea text. Now, if you just carefully watch this screen, when I click on this particular GPT, I get this pop-up where I can configure everything inside GPT. But as soon as I click on any of these input box, see, if I click, there is another pop-up open which give me option to map values from any previous module. So see here, when I click this, I got the previous module is something called Google Sheets, search raw. And it has all the column A, column B, column C, D, E, F, right? What I have to do is simple bring this, or maybe what you can do is click on this content idea A, drag and drop, and now my Google Sheet and my Chat GPT are interconnected dynamically. So whenever any content comes out in column A from this particular module, this will automatically insert or will be considered by Chat GPT right here itself. See how easy it is to build these kind of automation workflows. Now, after that, there are more settings available to configure. So it says like how many maximum token you wanted to use. By default, limit is put in as 2048 tokens, but I don't want to go with that. Simply remove this. And it says if you remove this, if you keep it empty, is going to take whatever number of maximum token required to use for this particular use case. And I'm okay with that. Why so? Because I know like I want to generate about 500 500 words kind of text in total for all three posts, and my whole input is about 2 to 300 words over here, right? So I know like how many tokens can be used maximum. Someone say, or someone may have a thought in mind like, why can't I put let's say 50 tokens here? Will it be a wise choice? Will it save me tokens, save money? It will not, believe me. Why not? Because when you put 50 tokens, it says low value may cause you the truncated output. Truncated means incomplete output, or the quality may also go down, right? So I'll leave AI to decide how many tokens it requires to use. And anyways, I'm using GPT-4o Mini, which is very less expensive, very cheap model. So like I'm not bothered about like it can even take 10,000 token. Still, that will be only 12 paisa in Indian terms, right? Not even a cent kind of thing, right? When we click on advanced setting over here, we get more and more things. So you remember I told you like we wanted to get output into JSON format. So I can simply select JSON object. I can say parse this JSON. Even you can have more and more configurations here, which is like prediction of the output. You can also set the temperature. You can set the probability of output, number of outputs, as well as frequency penalty, presence penalty, and so many things. That is something you'll have to read the OpenAI or any sort of AI configurations. So again, depend upon the complexity of use case, but you can configure things like this. Now I simply click on save, and my first configuration is done. Let's run and see some magic. What happens actually? So if I click run once, let's see. So over here we got the first output, which is row number 2, and the whole content came out like this. GPT also did its job, and see these small bubbles, they actually show you output. So whatever processed inside this module, it'll come here. See here, input goes like this. Model is GPT-4o, probability is 1. I just left everything as it is. Message is going here, role is assistant. You see our whole prompt as well as the text for this post. Here I said, here is the content of my idea. And the whole content actually picked up from the Google Sheet. So this is write a post on AI generalist role. See how like connected they are. And now when I go to output, click on this result, and you can see here 3 beautiful piece of content coming out. One for Facebook, second for Instagram, and third for LinkedIn. Again, you may think, okay, this could have been better. It's all upon you what kind of prompt you give. how you wanted to use this AI and this whole structure. But yeah, this is how it can do a wonderful job. And let's take a usage. How many tokens is used? See here, it used only 720 tokens. That's it. So if I do a quick calculation, let me try this. So for example, if you are using, let's say, 15 cents, which is hardly 12 rupees for a million token, I think this becomes a million. Multiply 720 token for this. What is the cost to generate this post? It is not even 1 paisa. It is 0.008 rupees. See how, and if you would have spent your own time doing this, it could have been like at least 1 hour to generate this whole post content. This can be done in less than 1 paisa for you. Okay, so great. This is insane, honestly. And there's the power of AI automation, how much time they can save at what cost. Right? Now, can anyone quickly tell me what should I do next? What is the next step? Quickly, guys. I'm not sure. Is chat is disabled or something? But
It's open, Manish.
why you people are
Also,
not?
what do you think the next? Okay, you may
Guys,
check.
I'll leave otherwise. Honestly, if is this session adding value to you? Are you excited looking all these things automation?
No, I'm sure they're learning, but I'm sure this is also the first time that a lot of people are seeing this happen.
120 people are here, guys. At least whenever we are interacting, 30, 40, 50 interactions should be there minimum. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the next step is mostly you guessed right. It's going to be image generation. And now we can simply go back. You may ask like how do we generate images? It can be like let's say OpenAI. OpenAI got a really interesting module called Daily, which is image generation, like how we have Sora for video generation. We can also use Midjourney. We can use Runway AI. You can use any sort of image generation platform. But for now, to keep it simple, to keep it like in an understandable way, I simply go back to OpenAI and I can simply go to something called generate an image, right? Let's go here. Now, over here, it's going to ask me which particular model you wanted to choose. Is it DALI 2, DALI 3? DALI 3 is the latest one. We'll go with that. Remember one thing, for any particular software, you just have to create connection only once. So see, I did not create connection again over here. The connection which I did over here for the OpenAI module can be used for any of their other service as well. Now, it is asking me again the prompt, text description of the image you wanted to generate. Right? Now, there can be two things. One is I could write a prompt like this and I can give the whole description myself. So let's go here. And what I did actually is I wrote a prompt, something like this. I say, generate a square image, 1080 pixels for the social media, follow all these style requirement as well as additional elements. And then here is my image idea. So I simply copy everything over here. Let's take this. Let's take it here. See, the prompt came. This is the primary message which I am sending as an instruction to GPT. And then over here, I wanted to map my post idea, like whatever I wanted to create post around. Pretty simple. I can straightforward go ahead and drag drop column A value from my Google Sheet. And if you see this carefully, see here, Google Sheet got like this particular window got two modules now, two outputs. One is from Google Sheet, second is from this Chat GPT, this particular OpenAI thing, where we have the content output for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. Right. So I generally simply stepped in and I said like let's go for the main content idea which was earlier there, and simply save it. Right. Now, can anyone quickly guess what we should do next after this? Quickly. Are we good with this until now? Are we missing any step over here? Run this. I'm going to show you. I'll run that. Check the post, generate content. Okay, let's try. Let's generate the content. Let's run this once. So still it is going to give me this particular idea, like whatever this idea I have. I said generate post content. It should take only one single idea. Already generated content for this one. See here, all of these content came out. Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. And let's see what kind of image it generates for us. And again, I'm telling you, you are free to use any of the tool as per your choice, as per your process, your workflow. Okay, perfect. See here. So this dimension came, it's going to be a vivid type of style image. And here on the data, we are going to have this whole URL. Let's copy this and let's grab and put it here. Okay, AI generalist, informative, and this kind of image. Not very good, not very bad, but something which is correlating with our whole idea of the post. So this image came out, and this is done by ChatGPT. This could have been absolutely better than this, but that's fine. Now, once we have all these outputs, we can simply go here and we can update all of them into the same Google Sheet for our review. So once we click here, Google Sheet we select, and then here's something called update a row. So click on this update a row. Obviously, we wanted to update the same sheet, same row. So we can simply go ahead, choose our file. So our file is stored into a folder called Growth School. Then there is another folder which is called Social Media Automation. And over here, we'll have our actual file, right? So let's go with this. Perfect. Now, you see, it is going to ask me which particular sheet you wanted to store this data. So obviously we have dedicated sheet called my content controller, that particular sheet, like social media posting tracker. And then it is asking me which particular row you wanted to update, because we have good amount of content over here. So we are going to update the row. Now, which row to update? So over here you can see this first module output even have something called raw number, because obviously it's getting us the raw particular raw level content, right? So I can simply drag and drop this raw count here, and now it is dynamically mapped. So whatever raw comes out from the first module will be updated in the last module as well. So there will be a consistency of data. If I have something here, all my output will come here, not over here on the raw number 4, 5, 6, not here. It will automatically update on the same line, on the same thread itself. Now, let's go back. Over here, we'll have to map all of our outputs. So simple, drag and drop each of these contents. Let's drag Facebook, let's drag Instagram, let's drag LinkedIn as well, right? And then in case of image link or image URL, you can simply see here, image is spit out like coming from this particular module. Simply go here, data, map URL, and that's it. Can anyone quickly tell me, are we good with this? Are we missing something? Shall we update any other column? Okay, Manali said yes. Which one? And only people who are like looking at this carefully, they'll be only able to answer this. Yes, Sai, that's right. Control column. Why control? Because if we do not change the control column, it's going to loop again and again. It will generate content for the same post. So what we have to make this now is content is ready for review. Right. So let's go here and let's just type in this content is ready for review. Why hard coded this? Just because all the time when content is generated, we'll have to put this particular status. And that's how, like, obviously, it's not coming from any of these modules. We just have to hard code this. And that's it. If I run this whole thing again, one more time, one last time, just for the demonstration purpose, let's see what happens. So the idea came out like this, only the row number 2, it has social media posting tracker as a sheet. 3, see all 3 contents came out. Future looks bright for AI journalist. The Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. Now it is generating image. I hope this time it will do justice to it. Let's see what comes out. Perfect. And see here, it got updated as well. Let's go and check this. Perfect. Oh, sorry. I think my cursor was here and that's how it could not update. But ideally, they should have updated to back to this content is ready for review. I just did it manually for myself. But yeah, let's see. And you can see here this amazing content along with the image. Everything came out. Let's look at the image quality because many people are like concerned about how that image look like. Amazing. This time it did a really good job. The AI is analyst, there is human who's analyst, all the AI, many things over here, which can absolutely resonate, correlate with what the idea we are trying to pass. So yeah, at least decent job. And see here, all of these content also came out like this. Perfect. Now, what next? We are happy with this content quality. We are happy with the image. Any idea, any guess what to do next? Publish the content, right? Perfect. So, what make says or what my process is, see, if I have to publish any content, I can simply go here, I'll say publish this content. As soon as I change it, the automation should run and it should configure and it should work out the publish content part. But I have to either create another new scenario like this or make got some extra tools, some extra configuration which can help me to like accommodate the same thing over here in the same scenario. So what I can do is, see, this is one flow where I say generate content is going to generate content, generate image and run through this thing. Now, along with this, make got some really good tools and really good flow controllers. So over here, if you click on flow control, you will see multiple options like repeater is there, iterator, array aggregator, router, multiple break, commit and all. Now, the most important over here is something called router. What router can do is it can route or it can control the flow. It can take things into a particular sequence of action if there is a condition fulfilled. So what I'll do is simply I can cut down this whole string over here. Simply right click on this, click unlink, and with a simple drag here, I can connect this output to the particular router. And over here, this input to this router, right? With just that ease, I cut it somewhere, just connected a router over here. Now, what does router says? It says if you wanted to send something to this sequence, you can simply apply a filter condition over here. So click on this filter condition or like see anywhere in the middle of these strings, you can click on this string, this string. It opens up a filter and this filter can be set like what should pass after this particular point. So I can simply click on this filter part and I say if my control column status, simply drag drop here, is equal to generate content, then only it should pass to this particular route. Let me see if generate content is, sorry, it says generate content for post. So I'll simply have to say generate content for post. And then I say if it is generate content for post, go to this particular. Then I can add one more route over here. So, so simply click on this and then you see the magic. So as soon as I click another route on plus button over here, I can add another route on this. Guys, just give me 1 sec. I'll have a water break. Okay, I'm back. Done. So this is the one route whenever my post status or the control status is going to be generate content for the post is going to follow through this particular route. And when I click plus over here, I can click 10 times, click plus, 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 so on. And I can have these many routes connected over here, right? For now, we just need one single another route just to publish the content. So let's grab it here and see how gamified it is. I created 10 routes, I removed everything, I got this and everything back into the same shape. Right? So how easy it is to play around with the make automation workflow. Now, when I say second route, I'll have to put a condition over here. Again, I'll say if the control column status is equal to post this content, then only it should follow this particular route, right? I'll simply put as a label as well. And let's check if it post this content. Yeah, the status is going to be post this content. Now, over here, we wanted to post content, but on what all platforms? So my choice is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So let's go with first Facebook over here. I click on plus button on this, simply type in Facebook, and you see all the Facebook apps are coming over here like this. Now, something super important. See, I told you Facebook has API, Instagram has API, even other platforms, but you'll have to do a proper research, you'll have to do a proper diagnosis which kind of APIs are available. So in case of Facebook or Instagram, they are social platforms, like they are expecting people to interact with other people, not machines to interact with other people, right? And for that purpose, what Facebook and Instagram did is they provide API for posting, post creation, different management, but only for the business account, only for the professional or creators account, not for the individual people's account. So even if you come here, you see Facebook, There are all things available, but they are only for the business, for lead generation, for messenger, and for the pages, not for the personal account. So let's go here, go to Facebook page, and then you can see something called create a post. You can even create a multi photo post as well, you can create a video post as well, many more things. But let's go with a create a post. Now when we click on this, you'll simply again have to establish connection. So click on add connection, give it a name, click save, and then it's going to open a pop-up window where you'll have to authorize your connection. Once done, you will see list of all the pages which are available under your management, wherever you are the admin, you are the member, and all. So now for this one, I have something called gross tax as a page. Here it says, what is your message? What do you wanted to put in the post? I simply say click on message and then drag and drop this Facebook content over here. That's it. In case of link, obviously link is about the image link. So which is exist into column E. Let's simply drag drop and that's it. This is easy how it is to connect all these modules. Let's go to Instagram. Again, as I said, Instagram is available only for business, not for the individual ones. So go here, program Instagram for businesses, and simply go here, create a photo post. Once I click on this, again, we can do here reel post as well, carousel post as well. But just for now, we are going with Instagram a photo post, right? We have a photo. Now, here again, it gives me all the pages, all the respective Instagram account that I manage. So over here, I simply selected gross tax. I say photo URL is coming from here, column E, drag drop. Captions about that particular post is going to come from column C. That's it. It is that simple, right? Click save, done. Now, the third platform which you wanted to go with is something called LinkedIn. And here is a good news for you. So, LinkedIn is a professional platform, not a social platform, no emotions, nothing as such like personal connect with people. What LinkedIn did, LinkedIn says, okay, I'm allowing you API for both user account, the individual account, as well as the organizational account. So, see here, when it comes to LinkedIn, you can even create a user post, a user text post, image post, video post directly over here. Same way for organization also, you can do multiple things. So in case of LinkedIn, simply go here, click on user image post, and then see someone is asking how to connect particular Facebook account. You can simply click on this, click on add this account, and then you can give it a name, whatever name you wanted to, click save, and then it is going to open this whole pop-up over here. So you'll have to choose your account, choose your pages, and then it will connect your account with the respective permission. Always remember, you should have enough permission for any page because it's all working with the pages. Instagram is all working with the particular business or professional accounts, and even LinkedIn is working with your own account or with your company account. So always you should have right connections, right permissions, and simply click on these add buttons, add connection, and then choose LinkedIn. Simply click on save. It is going to open this whole new tab where you have to authorize your connection over here. So let's say I have this Manish Rostax. Click sign in. That's going to get me inside LinkedIn. So this is how we can connect our accounts inside the make.com. Okay. Now coming back to LinkedIn. See here. When I added this LinkedIn module, create a user image post, what happens actually is LinkedIn is actually asking me, please provide me the file which you wanted to, like for the image part, it says, please upload the file. It's not going to work like how Instagram and Facebook were working. They were just working with the image URL. But in case of LinkedIn, it says like, I don't want URL. I want actual file to be uploaded. But the constraint is this whole system, the make.com or all of these, chatgpt, Instagram, Facebook, they are all cloud-based system and they are not working on my local computer. So obviously, when this automation would work, I may not have like my computer open. It's all working on the cloud. So I'll not be able to provide this file at all, right? But what it needed is file should be given to it for the image publication part, like it could publish the image as well. So what Make told us, or what Make says, if you wanted to get any file from an open URL inside Make environment, you can simply use a module called HTTP. And HTTP has something called get a file, which can download a file from any given URL. So let's click on this, drag it here. As soon as I drag it, it generally automatically connects, right? So simply click on this, and then here I can provide URL of our image. So drag and drop, that's it, right? Now, if I go to LinkedIn module, you see the magic. It is automatically taking file from this particular module, get a file, right? So whenever next time this whole thing runs, this particular HTTP will going to download that URL for that particular file from given URL and will give it to LinkedIn as a upload of the file. Right. Now, again, LinkedIn is asking me a couple of more things, which is content. So obviously content we can map from our Google Sheet straight up LinkedIn post content. We can also do a couple of advanced setting over here, which says visibility. So you can have post visible publicly, only connection, or maybe it is visible only to the login members. I said, okay, my post can go to all public. I can also control reshare. I can also control which particular feed this should go. All of these are okay. So that's it. All of my social media platforms are now connected with this particular content, with this particular image, right? Now, are we missing something? Or what to do next? How to log in the meeting? Okay, not sure. Save and run. Not now, but are we missing something on this automation workflow? Quickly, who's awake? Who's listening this carefully? Anyone can answer here. It's a very easy question. Okay, people are replying awake. Absolutely, Sheetal. Gaurav, yes, I would say you two guys are awake actually. Thank you for more people coming in. Okay, so actually, we'll have to add the update because if we do not update the control part, it will keep on posting the same content again and again and again, right? Unless until this status, post this content, changes to posting done. Why? Because this first module that we configured over here, see what we configured. If our content control status post this content, grab that particular file, grab that particular line, right? If it will keep on getting the same line again and again and again, you will see every day morning 10 a.m., whatever time you schedule, you will see the same post. So we don't want to do that, right? Let's go here, go to Google Sheets, go to update raw, and let's change the update raw status. Okay, so we'll have to set up the file over here. I'll see growth school. I'll check my folder. Okay, let's please select them. And see, once we establish connection with Google Drive with all of these things, now it is fully synced inside make.com. So I can like do anything inside my Google Sheet, anything inside my other systems, right? Perfect. So this is our sheet called social media posting tracker. Over here, raw is coming from the first module, which is see here, search raw. Simply drag and drop. Now, I don't have to do anything with column A. My content is already there. Column B, C, D, E, they also already have content coming in from the first one. And the control should change is something called posting done, right? Now it is no longer post this content. It will become posting done. And that's where the whole automation will control the first point as well. Now, do you want to see how this whole thing look like? Shall we run it once? Are you guys excited to see this going out? Quickly, guys, quickly. Perfect. Okay, let's do this. So, this is our post oriented on today's session, which says write a post on how AI generalist role is getting or becoming very, very important for the future. Now, I said post this content. Let's run this automation and let's see some magic. So, it is supposed to go either of these two routes. You see here, filter blocked it. Filter says generate post content should go this side, but it was actually post this content. So it moved over here, condition matched. Facebook post is done. Here's the post ID. The Instagram post done, LinkedIn post done, and even our control sheet got updated back. See here, posting done is marked over here. Now, if I go and check all of these platforms, let's give it a try. Perfect. See here, just a minute ago, the future looks bright for the AI generalist, and this whole thing comes out like this. Same way, let's go to Instagram. Let's refresh. Perfect. See here, this also came out very well. And finally, let's go to LinkedIn and let's check. I'm excited to oh, not it didn't came here. What happened? Let's try again. Maybe hard refresh or something. I did another refresh. Let's see if it comes out. Okay, not here. What happened actually? See, the post ID is here, which says the role of AI journalist is rapidly becoming popular. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. Post an activity. Okay, perfect. See, now it got refresh. So 2 hours ago, we posted this art skill chocolate brand, and now here we have the AI role is becoming greatly popular, and this is the whole thing over here. So see, this is the power of automation. Now you may wonder, are we doing automation actually? Because I had to run once all the time, right? And if it is run once, I could have simply gone to GPT, generate everything, and populate to all the social media. This is not automation, right? So, where the automation comes in, this whole flow is created, but it should run automatically at its own, as per my condition, as per the scheduling, right? So over here, make give you something called a schedule, which we can simply schedule any post, any automation scenario like this. So there are multiple options given. First of all, it says you can run an automation scenario at a predefined regular intervals. Now, by default, it is 15 minutes. You can take it up to 1 minute level as well, as low as every minute. So it can keep on checking every minute. Then you can even increase to any infinite time. So let's say I have 600 minutes, for example. I want to run anything or this particular scenario every 10 hours or maybe every 1 hour, just 60 minutes. Right? So this can be done. Second level, it can also be configured as every day. So for example, I want to run a post every day at 10 a.m. I can simply go with this and schedule it over here at 10 a.m. What time zone? See here, just below this says time zone is Asia Kolkata, which is India time zone, right? Now, we can also schedule this at specific days of a week. For example, if you wanted to reply to your emails using ChatGPT or something like, and you wanted to make it work only for the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, not Saturday, Sunday, then also you can schedule scenarios like this. So all of these weekdays at 10 a.m. Even when you click on advanced setting, you can go for like what is the start date and time, what is the end date and time. That range you also you can provide. So if this has to is supposed to run on specific days, you can simply go here like this. You can also schedule a post on specific days of a month. So let's say if you want to run something on first of the month and on the last of the month, this can also be configured. A specific time, a specific range, those things can be done, right? Even you can define specific dates as well. Something should run only on 1st of Jan, this can be done, right? So this much functionality, this much in-depth scheduling is provided by Make, and that's where you become like your life becomes super easy. So you simply say run every day 10 a.m. That's it, and simply activate the scenario. Now it is active. It's going to run another second post wherever I say like okay, I'll say generate content. This is going to generate content for this one for the next day, right? So this is how we can schedule. We can automate almost like any of the process we have in hand. Now let me tell you, I'm working in this domain for almost 6 years now, and this is one of the most easiest automation scenario that I have actually built or I generally showcase so people get confidence. Once you learn automation, you'll be able to do it like hardly in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. And these kind of automation can save you insane amount of time. Just one example, you can build n number of examples like this as per your own need. I shown you there are multiple applications available, multiple uh, ways, processes, task, thought process that you can simply put in here, and things can become automated. Let me show you some good example over here. So just to showcase you, we are managing these many organizations on Make, different clients, different countries. Just to take you, or just to give you one exposure, what kind of automation look like in a general case. So see here, like this organization runs almost 35 different automation scenario, and one of them is called delivery process. Even there are many lead automation and all. They are into digital product, into education, and see this kind of complex scenarios can be built. It is not even fit into one single screen itself. But see here, it is starting from something called Zoho Begin as a CRM. Then it takes whole data into Google Sheet for multiple validation purposes. Then Microsoft Teams is connected over here. Then we have Outlook, Google Drive. Furthermore, even Facebook event logging is also there, as well as the WhatsApp type of WhatsApp messages using Interact API. So these things can be done, or this much time effort can be saved using automations. Right? This is insane. This particular automation workflow actually saved 2 full-time headcount for that particular company. Right? Just building this whole thing. Otherwise, 2 people were keep on doing this all the day around. But now it is fully automated. One last thing, two things I would say to make your automation journey really simple and easy to start with. There is a section called just below scenario, something called templates. So many of you may wonder, like, from where we start. We don't know or what to automate. We don't have any inspirations, any automation use cases. So what Make did is they gave you many templates over here, and you can have like these templates used by almost 47,000 times. So it says like generate GPT content and put that into Google Sheet. You can even build Telegram chatbot. You can build social media postings. You can build Notion databases update, WhatsApp chatbots. Many things can be done over here. If you have specific use cases, specific app, simply type in here. So let's say, for example, Gmail. Click on this. All the scenarios, all the template which has email involved will come like this. Right? So you can simply have many cases for Gmail itself. So this is a good start point. Click on this, and then it will give you a step-by-step setup guidance. So you can go for like Gmail, watch emails, put them into GPT, and send the summary into a Slack channel. This is how it can be done. Right? So this is one simple thing. Second part is, when you create any automation scenario, still you have inspiration, but you don't know like what to configure first, how to start with this whole automation thought, right? Then to overcome that, Make gave you an I think a half cooked AI, I would say. That's what I experienced. So this is something called in beta version, but AI is there to help you. Click on this small button at the bottom right, and then over here you can type your requirements. So you can say, let's say build scenario, for example, over here. And here they directly give you one example over here which says you obviously can type in your own thing, but it says build a Google Sheet which get some data, put that into GPT and so on, Slack message. Click send. The AI will build automation scenario for you. Obviously not perfect, it's into beta version, but still a good starting point, right? So you can even find templates, you can even build scenarios using AI. See, now it's querying to agent. And let's see some magic. It may take some time, honestly, a few minutes. But yeah, preparing blueprint, see here. And as soon as the blueprint is ready, it's going to populate the whole scenario over here for you. So you don't essentially have to do anything. Simply add your connections and you're good to go. But again, it is not very much reliable. It's into beta version. That's what they even say over here as a tag. So, okay, it's preparing blueprint. And you can type in any of use case. You can even do further updates over here. So it can be like, once this whole thing is done, you can say, okay, edit the scenario, add a couple of more things over here. That can be done. See, so watch emails is here, add Google Sheet raw, put it into GPT, and then send a Slack message. If you click on any one of them, let's see, this would have even generated some prompt as well. I'm not sure. Let's see. But I could have shown you at the start as well. But the whole idea is you should know how to operate platform yourself. We should not be like just dependent upon something. See here. So good job about building this whole automation workflow by Make. We just have to configure things and we are good to go. So these things can be a really good start point, a really good I would say inspirations for you, so you can easily embark your overall automation journey. So with that being said, I hope I added value to you. We can now take questions, but before that, Funny, would you like to add something?
Wonderful. Nothing, Manish. I think we can get to the questions, but thank you so much. I think you have been teaching since almost 2.5 hours now. And it takes a lot of effort to stand and deliver. Folks, a big round of gratitude for Manish on the chat, please. If you have loved whatever you saw, and of course, some of you were mentioning that this is getting slightly technical. It's absolutely not technical, right? but it comes with practice. And very soon after we take the questions, we will talk about how is it that you can go ahead and practice, and how Outskill and Growth School can support you in that journey as well. But there's a lot of love coming your way, Manish, on the chat. Thank you so much for doing this. Let's get to the questions. I think there are only a few of them.
Yeah. Guys, this is, I'll tell you my experience from previous sessions. People ask so many questions, almost like 500 questions, 600 questions. This time we have only 8 questions. That's it. I could even read them one by one, all of them. That's all good. But believe me, like even if you want to ask any question now, anything comes to your mind, please add in here. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But yeah, that's good. So let's get in here. Um how to use AI? Many ways. Funny can tell you better this, but I already shown you how to use AI with automation. Right? I hope that answered it. I think you asked it very long back, almost 2 hours back. That's fine. Is the class helpful for copywriting, LinkedIn, ghostwriter? How to write content with AI? We already discussed that with the automation. How AI will help job professionals. We discussed something about this automation part later. Funny can tell you more about this, how AI can help you specifically into your professional part. Can we automate content generation in Google Sheet using Google Apps Script? Absolutely, you can do that. See, but Google App Script is a little more technical thing, right? And at times you have to debug that code. You may have certain roadblocks. Google App Script limitation itself. So not recommended if you are a new guy. If you are just starting out with automation, go with Make, Zapier, or Pabbly kind of platforms. Once you are well versed with that, if you have a ready prototype, then you can experiment with Google Sheet as well. Then how to add multiple sheets in a workbook in Make if we need data from multiple sheets. In that case, you'll have to either add multiple routes over here or multiple modules. Let's say, for example, here I have updater raw, and that is getting in social media posting tracker. At the same time, I can simply clone this module over here, and I can add another sheet, but it has to be a separate module. Not two things can be done within one single module itself. So let's say I can have content master, and this content master can be updated as the subsequent module. So these things can be done, but okay, very important part. Make cannot have two trigger at the start. It can be only one trigger at a point, right? One trigger per scenario, and only one particular action per module. So if you wanted to have two different things, you can add two, three, four modules. Then we have, where is the questions? Okay. With multiple run over the same data, will output change? For example, the post image, will they change? Yes. So see, we were trying it multiple times, right? If I run this again, the next post which comes in will have a different data as per the input. But if I, let's say, run the same input again, it may obviously GPT can decide to have a different version of the data. So that's absolutely okay. Like it may change. You're right. I want to automate finance, deliver invoice entry, reporting BPO sector. It all depends upon your process, like what you wanted to, how you wanted to run your process. If you have clarity on the process, all these steps, how I shown you over here, just try to build this flowchart first. Once you have clarity, then you can easily replicate the same thing inside any automation platform. Then can you please share breakdown of adding each link setting? Um, I did already. I shown you, like it's pretty straightforward. So you simply go on any of the module, not these ones. Let's say if I add any CRM over here, for example, CRM, I go for HubSpot. Now it's going to ask me add a connection for HubSpot. Click on this add button, follow the steps, click save, and then it'll just run through. Now, this just gave me a good thought here. See, in case if you're not clear how a particular module will work in terms of connection, in terms of configurations, Make did absolutely fantastic job. So once you click on, let's say, any of these modules, be it Google Sheet, just below this connection part, there is something called for more information how to create connection to Google Sheet, see the online help. And this is a hyperlink, right? Click on this and it will take you to a dedicated page for Google Sheets. So here, Google Sheets, connect Google Sheet to Make. The whole process is explained over here. So how to set up webhook. Even there are videos available to it. So play this and it is going to show you how to set up the whole connection, a step-by-step guide. Same thing applies to Facebook, to Instagram, to whatever. Like for example, go to Instagram. He see here online help. click on this. So if you stuck anywhere, straightforward, go ahead and refer the help documentation. It will give you proper guidance for that. Now, is it okay? I think people are energized now. We got 17 questions until here. Great. Thank you guys. I love this kind of interaction. Perfect. So, is it okay to connect the company mails into Microsoft Teams as well? You can do that, provided you should have permission from your like what is called tech administrator. So if they haven't blocked or something, you can straightforward go ahead and connect them. Only with Pro FB Insta account can. Yes, that's right. So professional FB or Insta account or business pages can be automated. Facebook, Instagram does not provide API for your personal account. You'll not be able to automate personal things. Otherwise, they'll not become social media platform, right? They'll become AI social media kind of things. Can I create and use scenario in software product to do extension of the product? Absolutely, yes, you can do that. But again, depend upon your use case, what kind of extension features you wanted to provide, but you can do that. Fetching data from multiple sheets for a single use case, will it work in Make? Yes, it can. As I showed you earlier, like you can fetch data from, let's say, search raw. This is the first one. I can simply replicate this module over here. I can search data from second sheet as well, and both the data can be connected into any of the subsequent steps. So, for example, let's say this was the social media posting tracker. If I come here, social master, for example, and if I say save this, when I run output from both of these, let's go to GPT for example. And if you click anywhere, not tokens actually, but anywhere on the input interface, it will have, see here, this module number 13 also got all the data out, A, B, C, D, every column, as well as module number 1 also have all these data out. So I can map these data from any of these modules, right? Whatever data you want. So that's how we can have multiple things connected into one. Can we save every output generated? Where do you want to save? Like we already saved it on Google Sheet, but if you wanted to have any other location, you can do that. Could you please repeat the router? Okay, that's the last thing I'll do. So, see, what happens is when we create any automation, if you saw earlier, it was a single route from Google Sheet until this ChatGPT generate content, generate image, and update everything back into Google Sheet. Now, for the second use case, I would have created another scenario which start from Google Sheet, watch for like wherever I tag, post this content. But to like that would have been a less efficient process. I'm creating multiple scenarios for a single use case. So what Make says, Make provided some really good flow control tools where it comes like router as well, right? Router, aggregator, array, iterators and all. So over here something called router. Now what router does is, router help you to route your content, your request, all the subsequent step to a particular direction based on conditions. So let's say if I put in router over here, I can add path. I just add one more path over here, right? Like this. So I can apply condition when to go on this particular path, when to go on this path, when to go on this path. So if my data coming from previous module says it is a generate content for post, then I applied a condition here. If column F status is equal to generate content for the post, it should go here. If my control F column status is post this content, it should go here, not here, right? So that's how we can apply multiple conditions. I can distribute the whole traffic into multiple routes based on the logic, condition, and the workflow settings. So this is how the whole thing works. That's the importance of router. And not this only one. There are many, many more modules that you can do: set variable, get variable, increment functions, sleep module just to pause something. You can do aggregations, numeric text, table aggregation. Many, many more things are there to make life easy. So yeah, this is how it works. Okay, one last question. Shall we use it for getting the report of stocks as well? Are you talking about the stock market? If yes, then there are many apps available, something called Trading View, one of the very popular application across like traders. So you can configure that application over here inside Make, and you can do any sort of stock reporting as well. So I think we are done. Thank you very much, guys, to stay here until 9:47, almost 3 hours, more than 3 hours time you dedicated for this. So really amazing to see you. I hope I added good value to you, and I wish 100 people over here if you save at least 5 hours a month, there will be 500 hours of saving, or 6,000 hours a year. And that will be insane. So I'll be like feeling so much gratitude if I can add that much value to 6,000 hours of saving to your life. 10 years kind of, 20 years equivalent of things, right? So yeah, glad to see you all here. And thank you very much, Bunny.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Manish. I think this was amazing. And because of all of your efforts, we are able to spread these learnings to a lot of people all across the globe. Thank you so much, Manish. Wonderful. So, folks, with that, yeah. So, folks, with that being said, we are at the end of the AI automation session. I'm sure a lot of you are now asking for the recordings and all of that. We have a few surprises for you. While we did say that you're not going to be getting recordings of any of the sessions that are happening here, you will certainly get resources, right? But I quickly want to talk about that, and I want to talk about what are the resources that all of you would be getting access to, right? But there are a few promises that I would want all of you to make before I even announce these resources. As the session was going forward, a lot of you kind of mentioned that, hey, this is going to be very difficult for me to go ahead and implement, right? How many of you feel that it is going to be difficult for all of you to go ahead and build your first automation? Drop in a me on the chat. Though you attended this session, how many of you feel that it is going to be difficult for you when you start practicing it? Well, we already gave you one bonus which Manish announced, and this is going to come your way as well, which is the 10,000 operations on make.com. Many of you were asking if make.com is a paid platform. Of course, it is. For every automation that you create, there are certain operations that get charged, and it is a paid platform. But for all of you to go ahead and start practicing, what we are doing from make.com's side is to give all of you 10,000 operations for free on make.com, which will allow you to go ahead and set up your first 2 to 3 automations and practice. And along with that, we kind of knew it from the beginning that you will not be able to pick up a lot from this particular session, but we wanted you to attend it through and through to understand the world of automations. So along with this session, what we are also giving all of you as a bonus are recorded tutorials of make.com and AI automation, so that you can watch it again, you can watch it n number of times, and you can practice as you watch them. Is that going to be helpful for all of you? Drop in a yes if you are going to watch all of the bonus resources that all of you are going to get, and you will practice. Now, there is a lot that you saw over yesterday and today. We started with understanding the foundations of large language models. We learned how prompt engineering really works. We went and saw a lot of generative AI tools, and we went and covered, we saw what diffusion models are capable of. We saw how images can be generated with AI, how videos can be generated with AI, and you also saw what agentic world is actually getting developed on the other side. Now, while I understand that all of this is a lot of information to consume, I'm super happy that all of you signed up for both of the days and got to the end of this workshop, of this 2 day training that we essentially put forward. But this is just the beginning, right? This is just the tip of the iceberg. And for all of you to be able to implement whatever you have learned, you need practice. So from tomorrow onwards, I want all of you to promise to me that you will practice everything that you have learned, and that you will not leave these learnings here in this session, or any, like, you will not just leave it away, but you will continue to practice. Is that a promise that I get from all of you, that you will continue to practice? And this practice is going to help you build this skill of thinking AI. What does thinking AI really mean? Whenever you see any problem, be it in design, be it in marketing, be it in data, be it in operations, be it in business management, whatever field it is, thinking AI is the ability to solve problems with AI and to be able to think of AI solutions. And that is what I would want for all of you as Growth School alumni and Outskill alumni. So do you all promise to me drop in the word promise on the chat. I know that you have dropped in that yes, but I want you to type in the word promise on the chat for me to go ahead and share how is it that we are planning to help you forward from here. By the way, as an exclusive bonus for all of you, I love that response. Thank you so much, folks. I'm going to announce the third bonus for all of you. But very soon, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I also want to talk about how all of you can make money of all of the skills that you have learned over the last 2 days, including the automations, skill that you saw today. And I want to teach all of you how you can implement all of these learnings and start making money, right? Would you be interested to learn and spend 30 more minutes in this session and learn how to make money? Drop in a yes if you want to know how you can start your own side hustles, how you can start consulting with people when it comes to AI and charge money for that. I'm going to be talking about that very, very soon. Of course, you might have to practice a lot more and go slightly deeper into this technology to be able to start leveraging it to make money. But what are we doing to help you out? We are actually giving away the recordings of yesterday and today to all of the people who have attended today's session. The recordings of what happened yesterday, which is what we have taught, and what happened today is going to come to all of you in the next 48 hours, including the prompts that we have used, including the links of all the tools that we have used, and summary documents and make.com tutorials. So all of the recordings of yesterday's session and today's session will come to you over the next 48 hours so that you can rewatch this entire content. You can rewatch all of these sessions and you can practice it as you watch them. And the reason why we told you that recordings will not be provided is because we wanted you to stick around. We knew that if we had told you that recordings would be provided, you probably would have let your procrastination kick in and you would not have participated in the session live. Now, after you receive the recordings from us, when you watch these recordings, it's going to be a refresher for you. It's going to be a recap for you and not the first time that you're learning all of this. Would that be helpful, folks? In the next 48 hours, you're going to be getting all of the recordings of everything that we covered over yesterday and today. Wonderful. Wonderful. But with that being said, while you are getting recordings, I also want to do a very quick revision of what we saw yesterday and how you can go deeper into this, because we spoke about everybody in today's world having to become an AI generalist, right? We spoke about 5 different levels yesterday. It starts with understanding the foundations of large language models, truly understanding the capabilities of different models that either have been launched by OpenAI. Under OpenAI, you have multiple models like the 4o model, the O1 model, the O3 model, the 4o mini model, the diffusion model, which is DALI, which has gotten even more powerful with yesterday's release that they kind of put up. So everybody really needs to understand the foundations and the capabilities of each of these models. You need to master advanced prompt engineering. You need to learn frameworks like RAGs to be able to fine-tune AI models with your own data and with your own use cases, and that is how you will be able to deploy these solutions at an organization level as well. And for those of you who were asking this question around, hey, if I go ahead and implement this in my organization, there's a lot of data security issue that's going to come up. Absolutely not. If you learn how to host these AI models inside your own local computers without connecting to the internet using Ulama, you will essentially be able to ensure the security of the data that is being passed into the LLM, because you will be using the power of neural networks and LLMs inside of your local computers without connecting it to the internet. Of course, that is an advanced concept. But everybody today has to go through all of the levels that we spoke of to become an AI journalist, because that is essentially going to give you the skill set to be able to do all of this and to propel in the career that you are imagining for yourself. Now, for those of you who missed out on yesterday's session, there were a lot of you who missed out on yesterday's session, and During the session, a lot of requests also came in terms of reiterating what we really spoke about yesterday, right? So while we spoke about a lot of foundational aspects and we saw many use cases of generative AI and also agentic workflows, we spoke about all of you having to become AI generalists. And because it is so important, I thought why not do a quick recap of how you can become an AI journalist. Would you all like a quick recap of how you can become an AI journalist? Would you all like a quick recap of how you can become an AI journalist? Drop in a yes if this is going to add value to you today. And right after this, I'm going to talk about how you can monetize these skill sets as well after you acquire them, right? So, starting with who an AI generalist is. Now, over the last or all throughout, over the last 20 years, all of us believed in doing specializations in specific domains. Now, these domains included marketing, design, data, tech, and whatnot, business, operations, finance, accountancy, and all of that, medical, health, etc. But today, with how these large language models have been trained, you can essentially leverage this power of generative AI to be able to solve problems across all of these domains. And these people who can solve problems across all of these domains are going to be super efficient than everybody else. So, if you actually think about it, through this 2 day event as well, what we wanted to demystify for all of you is that many people today think AI will take my job away. It's not AI taking your job away. It is people who know how to use AI really well who will end up replacing you because they bring in more money into the company that they're working with. They bring in higher efficiency. And these are going to be called as AI generalists. And these are people who will solve problems using AI and they will know how to use generative AI in depth to be able to solve these problems very, very effectively. So, deep understanding of AI models is what you have to build. You have to know how to use these models and where to even use them. And for that, you need exposure to the possibilities that can be unlocked with AI. And you have to fundamentally pick up the ability to build solutions and solve complex problems using AI. Now, yesterday, we showed a 5 step framework for you to essentially become an AI journalist. You can, of course, do it with Growth School or you can do it on your own as well, right? That is totally up to you. It is only going to be a fundamental difference between the time frame that it is going to take you to be able to become an AI journalist if you choose a structured path or if you choose to do it alone. But everybody needs to learn this. And what we as an educational institute have realized is people still today think that AI is equal to ChatGPT and they do not know what are the other possibilities of leveraging generative AI. The second is even for people who watch podcasts and watch interviews of Sam Altman or of Elon Musk and all of these people talking about the future of generative AI, nobody has a path to get started. So, and that is what many of you shared yesterday as well, which is, hey, I have heard a lot about this technology, but I never got a path to move forward in it. I never got a path to learn more about it. And that is the path that we want to give to all of you. We spoke about this yesterday, but I'm reiterating it today because a lot of you missed out on attending yesterday's session, right? So feel free to take notes, feel free to take screenshots because this truly is going to be the future. So what we have done is for you to become an AI generalist, you have to go through 5 different levels. Like I said, it starts with understanding the foundations of AI and large language models. And here is where you start looking at capabilities of AI models. And then you need to learn how to fine tune AI models for your own use cases. And you need to learn advanced prompting techniques as well. You need to go beyond of text-based models. And in level 3, you need to learn how diffusion models really work. Can you all put in what diffusion models are all about on the chat? I want to understand how attentive you were today and yesterday. What are diffusion models? We kept talking about diffusion models multiple times. Anand says DALI, okay? But what can diffusion models do? On the chat, what can diffusion models do? Come on, I'm going to be very disappointed Somebody just copied it from the internet and put it up. Wow. Images, says Nisha. Wonderful. Diffusion models have the capability of producing images and videos with you inputting a text. So you input a text and the output is either in the form of a video or in the form of an image. And that is what you have to go deep into, because all of the AI clones that we showed yesterday, all of the social media work that we are doing today, and all of the creatives for marketing purposes, product images, etc., that we are putting out today, including analysis of data, all of it happens with diffusion models. So you really need to go deep into diffusion models as well. And once you learn diffusion models in level 4, you need to learn how AI powered applications can be built without writing a single line of code. And then in level 5, you need to go and learn how automation really works. Today's session was all about AI automations, which is a brink of, or which is the tip of the iceberg of level 5, as what I would call it, right? Now, do you all want me to go deeper into each of these levels? Do you want to know what are the tools, what are the frameworks that you want to learn in each of these levels? Okay. So in level 1, when we said you have to learn about the foundations of AI and language models, you really need to learn about tools like Claude, Gemini, Notebook LM, Pitch, Humata, which is a tool that completely focuses on the RAG framework. You need to learn about phrase. You need to learn how perplexity really works. You need to learn how DeepMind really works. A lot about these models and a lot about how to fine tune these models with custom data sets. Because the problem is, all of these large language models are generic models, right? They can do everything. With you inputting a prompt, they can essentially pick up any task. But the problem with something that does everything is it cannot go deeper into your use cases. And for it to be able to go deeper into your use cases, you need to fine tune these models with your own custom data sets. And if you are able to do that, that is when you will be able to truly use the power of AI. So that is what you need to learn in level 1. And then in level 2, you need to learn how advanced prompting really works, how RAGs and retrieval really works. This is the way in which you essentially communicate with AI models. You communicate better with these AI models, and the output that you get, end of the day, becomes better. And all of these AI models and large language models that we're talking about are the backbones of any agent, AI agent that you will be creating. How many of you remember seeing Jerry, which is an assistant that we created inside of Growth School? How many of you remember seeing Jerry yesterday? Yes? Okay, bunch of you have seen Jerry yesterday. So Jerry was the executive assistant that we built, which is an AI agent. Now, how does Jerry respond back to every query that we put forward? It understands, because it has a very constrained environment that has been created on the backend. Hence, it understands every instruction. Level 2 will essentially help you do that. You need to learn tools like Hugging Face, Retail AI, Vapi for creating voice agents, Ulama to be able to install LLM models inside of your local computers, Google AI Studio again, 11 Labs, Vector Shift, Mistral AI are all of the tools that you have to learn in level 2. Level 3, like I mentioned, is all about image and video creation. Now, it's not just about using a tool like Midjourney or using a tool like Kling to be able to type a line of prompt and generate outputs from it. You have to train image and video models as well, and that is the beauty of all of it. And that is done on tools like Flux, that is done on the advanced version of Kling, that is done on Runway ML, that is done on this tool called Comfy UI and Heygen and Stability UI, which is Stable Diffusion, Hugging Face, 11 Labs once again, for you to be able to train the model with your voice so that it talks exactly like you. All of these things you have to be able to learn, and it's going to take you about, I think, if we talk about level 1, it's going to take you about 6 to 8 months. Level 2 again is going to take you about 6 to 8 months. Level 3 is going to take you about 3 months if you do it alone. Level 4 is when you start using all of the foundational concepts that you have essentially learned to be able to build applications using no code platforms without writing a single line of code. You use platforms like Bolt, Vercel, Adalo, Supabase, Cursor, Lovable. Lovable is the tool that Weber built his application on. And all of this is what you have to master. And then you get into automating tasks with AI agents. And these AI agents can be built on tools like Relevance AI or Lindy or N8N or Crew AI, and you can deploy them and maintain them for scalability. Level 6 is all about connecting the dots for the bigger picture, wherein you actually build your own AI solution. Because the number of people who are building their own AI solutions in the market today are very, very less. That opens up the opportunity for you. When the demand is super high and the supply is very, very low, that is an opportunity that is getting opened up for all of us. And if today you take this seriously and you start building AI projects, you are going to make a hell lot of money like I do. And I'm going to be revealing my personal secrets as well very, very soon. But you will essentially make a lot of money if you're able to pull all of this off, right? And to be able to learn this, you need patience, you need consistency, because this is an evolving technology. To learn what this technology is capable of doing until today, it will take you about 18 to 24 months. That is how much time it took all of us at Outskill to learn this and go deeper into this. It in fact took way beyond that. But today, we are here teaching people how to use the exact same technology. So, will you all take this forward and learn how to become an AI journalist? Drop in a yes if you will take this seriously, and if you will learn, and if you will win in this market. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, there are, of course, two paths that we spoke about yesterday. One is you could do it on your own. It's going to take you about 24 months. Or you could do it with the help of Outskill as well, right? And that is what we spoke about, because we have a vision of helping 2,500 plus people this year, which is 2025, become AI journalists. And these AI journalists are going to go out there and win the world. That is the vision that we have set for Outskill. And we are making that happen through a 6-month program on becoming AI journalists. We spoke about it yesterday, but a lot of you missed out on it, and a lot of you did not get to block your interview slot. Now, this program is unlike any other programs that you will find in the market, because you cannot pay to get into this program. There is an interview that you have to take, and that interview decides if you're worthy of joining this program. And if you are worthy of joining this program, if you have a clear goal, that is when you will get selected for this program, and that is when you will be able to complete all of these learnings in a period of 6 months. Do you all want me to quickly talk about the AI journalist program? Because there was a lot of interest that was coming in from many people on the chat box saying, hey, I could not book my interview slot yesterday. Do I have another option? Do you all want to know how you can master all of these in 6 months? Drop in a yes, and I'll quickly cover that, and then I'll get into teaching you how you can make money with AI. Okay. So, what is this 6-month program all about? Well, this is a place where we have brought in the best mentors from across the globe to come and teach you. Because when there is a structure, when there is material to learn from, you don't have to spend time researching all by yourself. And that drastically, that kind of support and that kind of mentorship drastically reduces the time for you to be able to learn this technology. And that is the case with any new skill that you want to pick up. That is what is going to happen with inside of this program as well. While you will take about 24 months to learn all of this on your own, if you choose to apply for the interview and get selected, you will have the opportunity to learn all of this in 6 months. Now, what does that mean? That basically means that you learn all of these skill sets faster and you start making money off them faster. So ROI is through the roof, right? The complete structure of this program, for everybody's clarity, is there's going to be an online onboarding that we would be doing. Then we enter the phase 1, which is hands-on learning, right? Once the hands-on learning covers the first 4 levels that we spoke about, And then we get into phase 2, wherein you actually build an AI driven project yourself. And in phase 3 of the program, you get to demo this project in front of founders, CXOs, angel investors. So if you are able to build an MVP version of any product inside of this fellowship, or an agentic workflow, or an AI solution, you could get a lot of opportunities from the demo day itself. All of this is how we have structured the AI journalist program, and this is going to take about 6 months. So that is how you wrap it up. But I am not going to tell you that you will, master AI in 6 months.